Welcome to the Porter's Tailgate Show.
It's about that time.
Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red!
If you're willing to accept the responsibility that you have to protect this team and this school and this town, and make no mistake about it, gentlemen, we are in the business of protecting this town.
I shut them down, shut them down.
Coming up, you'll hear from RHS head coach Mark Lenhardt, our athlete spotlight, and your Wolverine weekend report.
Let's get rocking!
Wolverine football is just a half an hour away. Here are Wolverine analyst Scott Fuller and the voice of the Wolverines, Jared Anderson.
And a very good Friday night to you. Welcome to Wolverine Field. Riverton High School football back at home this evening as they welcome in the fourth-rated Buffalo Bison. Jared Anderson, Scott Fuller, Jason Peterson, our camera operator tonight. As Jason just mentioned, we are the Three Musketeers in his book. So glad to be at your service this evening. Thanks for joining us here on 105.1 Jack FM and streaming video on County 10's YouTube channel, as well as the County 10 Facebook page. All things considered, it's going to be a chilly night here in Riverton, but off to a good start as opposed to the weather we've had over the last couple of days where it's just been rainy and drizzly and kind of miserable out. It's nice to have dry conditions again, and it's nice to see football again. Scott Fuller at Wolverine Field.
It is. It's very good to be back home, as the Wolverines will be for the final two games of the regular season. Listening to you and Wyatt Barichka on the County 10 Sports Podcast, Jared, talk about the goodwill hunting math that is involved in the playoff seeding, and I'm still not sure that I comprehend it, but I'm not sure that we need to. I mean, everybody knows a win's a win, and with 2 games left, you want to go 2-0. And you just kind of have to see where the first round of the playoffs would be for the Riverton Wolverines. But as you, I think, on that podcast this week, Jared, really aptly put into perspective, let's flash back to August and where we were thinking about being as fans of the Wolverines. And if they make the playoffs, if they win a couple of games, I think we all at that time would have taken it and run. And now we're getting greedy as the wins, a couple of wins piled up, and we're thinking, well, maybe if things play out right, we might be able to host a playoff game. So I think you go out as a fan. If you want to follow along with the math, that's great, and speculate about the seedings, but you just kind of come on out, still a half hour before kickoff, and watch the Wolverines play on a beautiful night here in October, and just see what they can do against a very good Buffalo team that is coming to call on them tonight.
Yeah, there's so many scenarios, and we can get into them a little bit as the game goes on. But like you said, let's just slow down, enjoy this team a little bit, take it one game at a time, and see if Riverton can put together another game against a ranked opponent. They nearly knocked off number 5 Douglas last week. They had an opportunity to late, ultimately came up short in that ball game 25-17. But as opposed to last year when Douglas poured 52 points on the Wolverines, it is a very different attitude at Riverton High School. Buffalo knocked off Riverton last year too, in a similar style. 53-21 was the final score in that one last year. Riverton did win back in 2020, so you don't have to go that far back to find the last Riverton victory against this Buffalo team. Talking playoff scenarios, because that's what we do in the media, is speculate the big storylines. Riverton wins this game, they are qualified for the playoffs. That's what we know. There's a scenario where Riverton could lose this game and beat Worland and get in. There's a scenario where they could go 0-2 and still get in. But tonight, right in front of us, Riverton wins this, they will go to the playoffs. Now, if Buffalo wins this game, they clinch the 3A East. They will take home field advantage into the playoffs, meaning they'll play not only a quarterfinal but also a semifinal game at home. So a lot at stake for both of these teams. Riverton would love to force a 3-way tie at the top of the 3A East with Douglas, Buffalo, and themselves. Buffalo has already knocked off Douglas. Douglas, of course, beat Riverton last week. So there you go. A 3-way tie could be possible. And math in sports, math in general is not my strong suit, but I'm angry we have to go to math to solve a sports question.
Well, and upsets happen. I mean, who's in Rollins tonight? It is Douglas that's in Rollins tonight. Douglas is going to be the favorite in that game, but Rollins is hosting that game. You never know. I mean, if any of these teams, we kind of speculate out over the remaining 2 weeks of who's supposed to win, but all it takes is one slip up, and then the tiebreaker is not about a point differential or any crazy equation. It's about just simple head-to-head, and things might become a little bit simpler. So, yeah, you take it one game at a time and keep maybe one eye on the scoreboard at the same time. But I think you just said it, Jared. Riverton has to beat a very good Buffalo team here tonight at home to qualify for the postseason. But if they go 0-2, if Worland next week, who has the same, basically the same record in the standings as Riverton does, you can miss the playoffs. It is possible for the Wolverines to miss the playoffs. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves and try to take care of business against the top seed in the East as it stands right now in Buffalo.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of fun scenarios to keep an eye on. That's what makes this time of year so great, and it's going to be a great atmosphere here at Wolverine Field tonight. Bit of a late arriving crowd, I imagine, because it is it's still fine for October weather, but it's going to be the chilliest game of the season thus far this evening. So I think some folks would stay in the vehicles an extra few minutes if they can get away with it tonight. But if you are making your way to Wolverine Field tonight, there's a number of things to see and do. There's a great activity zone out in front of the high school's front lawn for the kids. There's some bouncy houses and obstacle courses out there, and they are raising money for the Tough Enough Cancer Fund of Fremont County. It is Pink Night here at Wolverine Field, so we'll share our support and mention that throughout the ball game with Fremont County cancer survivors, those going through a tough diagnosis right now. So if you're headed out here, bring an extra couple of bucks and take advantage of that. They're giving away or selling some T-shirts and pom-poms and different pink items here out in front of Riverton High School's front lawn. Also, Riverton FFA hosting a big barbecue tailgate party, too, so you can come take advantage of that. If you've got a few extra bucks, grab yourself some dinner here at the stadium tonight. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show, made possible by Porter's Mountain View Supply at Sunset and Federal in Riverton. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we will continue to dive into some of the storylines in this one. There's a lot of different players to watch, and we'll run down some of the team stats that you need to know about before this one. We're also going to chat all things Buffalo High School with Brady Safranek, the play-by-play guy at KBBS Buffalo, going to tell us a little bit more about what to expect from the team he's been covering all season. And I was able to catch up with Riverton head coach Mark Lenhardt as well. So all of that still to come on the Porter's pregame show as we count you down to kick off Buffalo and Riverton coming up. You are watching the Wolverines on County 10's YouTube channel and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We've got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmvs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency is a proud supporter of Riverton High School Wolverine athletics. We understand the importance of community, and we're excited to be a part of it. As your neighbor, we're here to help you with all your insurance needs. We offer auto, homeowners, renters, business, and life insurance. So stop in and say hi or give us a call today. The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency will be here for you.
Watch the Wolverines on the County 10 YouTube page.
It is the Porter's Tailgate Show here on 105.1 Jack FM and streaming on County 10's YouTube channel as well as County 10's Facebook page. Welcome those of you all around the area watching this one tonight. As I always like to do, if you are tuned in and watching the video stream with us, feel free to use that comment box and let us know where you're from. We'll shout you out through the game. If this one goes anything like the game last week at Douglas, we may need your help because I looked down and missed two very critical extra points points, so I've learned my lesson there, but I'll try to do better on extra point viewing for the broadcast tonight. We're about 20 minutes away from kickoff here as Riverton Wolverines set to take on the 4th-rated Buffalo Bison. Buffalo comes into this contest just feeling really good about themselves. They're unbeaten in conference play, 3-0. They're 5-1 overall. Rob Hammond has built quite the program in his 12th year. Riverton feeling good about themselves, too. They are 2-1 in conference play, 3-5 overall in Mark Lenhardt's first year. And we'll get your coin flip. We always do that so much earlier at Wolverine Field than we do on the road, so the coin flip coming about 20 minutes before the game, and we'll get that on your screen, courtesy of our cameraman, Jason Peterson, and try to follow along with who will get the ball first. But again, like we mentioned, a lot of playoff activity at stake in this one. Buffalo can clinch the 3A East with a win, and they host Rollins next week. So in theory, unless Rollins were to pull a big upset next week, Buffalo has the opportunity to finish the year perfect in the conference before heading to the playoffs. Riverton could clinch a playoff spot with a win. Both of these teams have played Cody and lost to Cody. They've both defeated Lander. The only common opponent differential are those Douglas Bearcats we mentioned. Buffalo beat them 2 weeks ago, 13-3. Riverton lost at Douglas last week, 25-17. Let's see, team stat-wise, Buffalo offensively gets about 375 yards per game. They average 233 yards on the ground, 142 passing yards. Coach Lenhardt told me they're a run-first team, and they would run it just about every time if they could. Buffalo does average 28.5 points per ball game. Defensively, though, that's where they really make their hay and what they're known for. Throughout the state of Wyoming, they allow 199 yards of total offense on average, 124 of that on the ground, 74 passing yards, and they allow just 8.2 points per game this season, which is quite the statistic there. Riverton offensively, 354 yards of total offense per game, rushing 115 yards. Riverton 240 passing yards. So we'll see if Buffalo can hold Riverton in check through the air. They've been so good with the air attack this year. Riverton averages 24.7 points per game. Defensively for the Wolverines, they allow 370 yards per game, 219 of that on the ground, 151 passing yards, and they do allow 35 points per game. So Coach Lenhardt would like to see his defense a little bit better this time around, and the offense obviously is going to need to score some points with this stout, tough Buffalo defense.
Yeah, something's got to give there. Riverton, a big play offense with a lot of offensive weapons. And Buffalo very prideful of its defense, averaging, say, 8 points per game.
Yeah, just 8.2 points per game this season.
That's as stout as it gets. So that's the matchup, I think, to watch for Wolverine fans. And obviously your own defense has to stand up to that run attack as well. Buffalo winning the toss. I think that might be the first coin toss the Wolverines have lost all year. But as the road team, they called and won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so I think we will see that Wolverine offense out here first in about 16 minutes or so.
Yeah, counting you down to kickoff here. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show. Jared Anderson and Scott Fuller with you. Glad to have you along. Let's, before we get into our interviews here on the pregame show, let's talk about your Wolverine weekend. There are a lot of things happening at Riverton High School as far as activities. And first of all, let's talk cross-country. Riverton hosted the 3A West Conference cross-country events before teams head to the state tournament or the state race in Cheyenne next week. Riverton's Caden Chatfield won the overall boys race. Lander's Amaya Eddy won the girls race in 3A West action. The Riverton girls finished 7th overall. Cody girls were victorious. Their top finisher on Wednesday at the rendezvous site course was Alexis Whiteplume, who took 11th overall. Riverton boys finished 3rd in regionals. I keep calling it regionals. It's officially called conference cross country. Evanston would win that event. I mentioned Caden Chatfield, the race's individual winner. Alexander Truix took 8th. Davian Spoonhunter finished 15th. My Wolverine weekend reload here. Riverton girls swimmers are at a huge Gillette Invitational this weekend. There are 17 teams at that Campbell County event. The prelims are today. The Gillette invite is tomorrow. RHS volleyball hosted Rock Springs yesterday. That was their pink game. Tough Enough Cancer Fund. And a big shout out to the Lady Wolverines, raising over $800 for Fremont County cancer patients through the Tough Enough Cancer Fund. Also, they won that game in 5 sets over Rock Springs, winning the 5th set 15-13. Exciting game and a great night of some fundraising for RHS volleyball. Riverton volleyball is in Casper at Kelly Walsh High School tonight for a 6 o'clock start. Finally, on your Wolverine weekend, got to give a big shout out to the Riverton High School marching band just to the left of Scott and I here from Wolverine Field. They'll be playing tonight, and then they'll be on a bus tomorrow where they're headed to the State Marching Band Championships at the Ford Wyoming Center in Casper. That event starts at 4:30 tomorrow evening. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show. We'll take a quick break. We'll learn more about our opponents with the voice of the Buffalo Bison. Brady Safranek will join us here in moments. Wolverines and the Bison coming up on County 10's YouTube channel and 105.1 Jack FM.
Your home improvement project's a breeze with Sutherland's, your home improvement experts. Always the right products at the right price. For every project, every day. You can shop and pay online at Sutherlands.com, and we'll get it ready for easy in-store pickup. With the tools and the know-how, you can count on Sutherland's for any job. With over 30,000 items in stock, make your first stop at Sutherland's Home Improvement in Casper and Riverton.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? Because in real life, you don't get a second chance.
Back on the Porter's Tailgate Show as we count you down to kickoff. We're chatting all about tonight's opponent, the Buffalo Bison, Brady Safranek. How'd I do on your last name, first of all? Okay, good. Brady is the play-by-play guy for the Buffalo Bison from KBBS Buffalo. Brady, first of all, how was your trip down tonight?
It was good. You know, we didn't hit much rain, and it looks pretty nice here, so ready to roll.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. I know we're getting deep into the season now. Week 7, this Buffalo team has been outstanding all year long. What just overall have you learned about them through the season?
Their defense runs this team. I mean, outside of the 34 we gave up to Cody, we haven't given up many points this year. We gave up 12 in week 1 to Newcastle, but that was after we took starters out of the game. Our defense is really solid. Offensively, we got a good running back in Will Hammond. He's a tough kid to bring down. By the 4th quarter, people don't really want to tackle him. And our quarterback's the same way. Eli Patterson, he can take off with it anytime, and he's a big kid.
I know Buffalo's had a lot of success in multiple sports, football through the years. What's the culture or the atmosphere like in Buffalo this year? Are people expecting a state championship?
Well, I don't know about expecting a state championship. Out west, Cody, Star Valley, Powell are all pretty tough. But, we're in control of the East right now. If we win over Riverton tonight, we got the number 1 seed. So that's what we're looking forward to. As far as state championships, those top 3 teams are pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Riverton's seen them all here to start the season. It was for folks that may be from Fremont County tuning in to Buffalo for the first time. Who are some of the names that we should keep an ear or an eye out for tonight?
So I mentioned a couple offensively, Eli Patterson, Will Hammond, running back. Catching the ball, Zane Huber's had some big catches. Both the Camino boys play well. Hazen Camino actually came on and took over for our kicker, and I think he kind of took the job because he's really good. But they're both really good. So, we've got special teams as well. We can kick field goals. How deep, I'm not sure. We've kicked them over 30 this year, but, can we get out to the 40 range? I don't know. Defensively, some of the same names. You're going to hear Caminos. You're going to hear Eli Patterson a lot, Will Hammond. It's kind of some of the same guys on both sides of the ball.
All right, Brady, good luck. We'll enjoy the broadcast. For folks that travel up to Buffalo, check out KBBS and the crew up there. But appreciate you making the trip down, and good luck on the broadcast tonight.
All right, thank you.
Brady Safranek. I've mispronounced his name a couple of times now, I think, but I do know he is the play-by-play guy for the Buffalo Bison, and they are off to a great start this year. Welcome you up to Wolverine Field. If you're headed up right now, again, it is Tough Enough to Wear Pink Night. You got the cancer fundraiser going on for local cancer patients to support Tough Enough to Wear Pink in front of the high school building. Riverton FFA also hosting a barbecue dinner tonight, so you can come support a couple of great causes and then support the Wolverines on their second to last regular season game.
Yeah, absolutely. Grab that pink scarf from the closet or whatever pink you might have to come support the cause. And if you do have a couple of dollars, as Jared said earlier, all goes to a good cause. Cancer affects everybody in every community. If not you directly, then we all certainly know somebody who has been affected. So it's a universal cause that is just something fun and something good we can do while we take in the ball game here tonight. The wind is not much of a factor, probably about 5-7 miles an hour on the field, which is good news for fans as well as the passing game and the kicking game for these teams here tonight too.
Yeah, looks like mid-40s for our game time temperature tonight, and then obviously with the sun setting, it's going to go down to the low 40s, maybe upper 30s this evening. Talked with Coach Lenhardt a little bit about the weather, and they had to shift some of their practices this week indoors. They didn't want to get anybody hurt in practices, and went through some things at an indoor facility here locally. But with the dry conditions right now, I think that's just a relief based on what we could be experiencing tonight. So it's going to be a little bit chilly, but bundle up, come on out to Wolverine Field if you're in the area and cheer on these kids. They've been exciting all year long. We'll take one more break here on the Porter's Tailgate Show. When we come back, we will hear from the head coach of the Riverton Wolverines, Mark Lenhardt. That's after this short timeout. You're watching the Wolverines on County 10's YouTube channel and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
For an upgrade to your vehicle, Wyoming 4x4 is the place to go for all your upgrade needs. From lift kits to bumpers, grill guards to bed liners, we've got everything you need to take your ride to the next level. We use top brands for our bumpers like Fab 4s, Ranch Hand, and Road and more. So get your vehicle ready and stop at Wyoming 4x4, or give Dan a call at 307-857-3175.
Redden, Kane & Associates, CPAs is your go-to source for tax, financial, and business solutions. Our experienced professionals are trusted and know the numbers. We're dedicated to providing personalized attention to each of our clients. Whether you're an individual or a business, we're here to help with all your accounting needs. Let us do the math for you. Stop in or visit rivertoncpa.com to learn more.
Myers.
Back on the Porter's Tailgate Show, chatting with Coach Lenhardt. Coach, welcome back home. Feels good to be back at Wolverine Field.
Yeah, it feels like even though we just played in Lander and Douglas, it feels like we've been gone for a while, but it is good to be back and playing in front of our home stadium, and hopefully we can find a way to give our fans a good show tonight, because we're playing a very, very good football team tonight.
Definitely hung in there with a Douglas team that's been good through the years, maybe a little bit of a different Douglas team than we're used to the last few seasons, but that was a fun game to watch. What kind of lessons did you take away from it, and what was practice like this week?
Well, I think more than anything is anytime you lose a close game, you kind of magnify all the mistakes that you made, and we made some in the red zone that, were a little uncharacteristic of our guys, and some you just got to give Douglas a little bit of credit too, because they did a good job. So we're going to we'll have our hands full tonight. I'm really impressed with this Buffalo team. You get out here and you see them on the hoof, and they're tall and they're long and rangy, and they look good on film, but they look even better in person. So we'll have to not a lot of holes in their defense. They got a lot of good players across the board, and they're going to come out and try and run the football right at us, where at times Douglas is going to try and throw and be cute. I wouldn't be shocked if these guys could run it every play tonight, that they would.
You guys have had such a high-powered offense all year. This Buffalo defense is so stout and talented. How do you approach it? And just from a fan perspective, it's going to be a really fun matchup to watch.
Yeah, I think what they do a really good job of is they play, they play coverage, they play soft. I don't think they're going to let us just throw the ball down the field like some of our opponents. We're going to have to march it, and guys are going to have to make the simple plays, and Derek's going to have to make the simple reads and stay patient, because where they get you is when you get impatient and try and throw it down the field. They're really good at taking the ball away. So take what the defense gives us and move on, and take your 5 or 6 yards and live to play another down.
I know, all things considered, Wyoming weather, this is a pretty nice October evening, but probably the coldest forecast we have. Does that change anything you do?
No, not at all. I mean, there's no wind tonight and there's no rain, so if that's not the case, you should be able to do what you need to do. But we want to try and stay as balanced as possible. If we've got to throw it 30, 35 times a game, that's not a formula for success at this level. We're not Texas Tech or, the old Florida Gators where, you get all off season to work with these guys, the spring ball. I mean, these guys play defense, they play special teams, so a lot easier to hand it off and block people and be effective as opposed to trying to have a timing in your passing game all night.
Health, injuries, morale, how's everybody feeling?
Oh, pretty good. It was an interesting week of practice, to say the least. Unfortunately, we lost Tyree Harris-Aragon. He won't play tonight. He hurt his neck. A little bit of a precautionary deal. Not completely sure what's going on there yet. He may be out for an extended period of time, but that's a big loss for us at linebacker. Hunter Riemann and, Hunter Riemann, Aiden Sanchez is back this week from his sickness, and Talon and Clay and Blake are going to have to step up and play, and those are a lot of sophomores, I just said, going against a really old veteran crew. So look for Hunter Saltzgaver to make a little more of a appearance on defense tonight, and first and foremost, we got to try and stop the run. So we're going to put as many guys down in there in the box to try and do that as possible, and try and make them throw it. Hopefully we can hold up on the back end.
All right, Coach, best of luck. Thanks again.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Mark Lenhardt, the head coach of the Riverton Wolverines, joining us here on the Porter's Tailgate Show. Mentioned there that they made some adjustments with the rain this week, with a few indoor practices, and another one of the big storylines we picked up on there at the end of the interview was the injury to Tyree Harris-Aragon. Obviously, wish Tyree the best. A neck injury, hopefully just out kind of more as a precaution, but could be a scary injury there, so hope all is well with Tyree. He's been a key contributor for Riverton throughout this season.
Yeah, we saw him take his first carry on offense last week in Douglas, as it's a bit of a running back up by committee situation. But I think, as Coach indicated, I think where you feel that is in the second level there in the linebacker position. So next man up, and neither of these two teams is terribly deep. Every injury, no matter the grade or the position, definitely hurts you. In terms of the weather, a beautiful night here tonight. Definitely happy we weren't playing this game yesterday. Those indoor practices are interesting. Coaching in Minnesota, we definitely had our fair share of those. The kids love those because it's something different. It's a change of pace. I never did as a coach because you just can't do as much inside in a small gym as you can on a full-size football field. But if you're smart about what you're doing, maybe you focus a little more on X's and O's inside and some installation, and I'm sure the coaching staff had that in mind, then it can be beneficial. It's, as Coach has told you before, you can have excellent weeks of practices and come out and lay an egg, and you can feel like your team is about to get rolled based on the practices that you had in the week before, and you win by 3 touchdowns. So you never know until they kick the ball off, which is where we're at here. And again, a couple of minutes early.
Yeah, as is customary here at Wolverine Field. It feels like at this point we will get this one going a couple minutes before 6 o'clock. Jared Anderson here, Scott Fuller to my right, Jason Peterson up above, running the camera for you. Glad to have you along the County 10 Sports Network. It's Hazen Camino, number 11, that has it on the tee. Ty Sheets, Nick McIntosh back deep to receive for the Wolverines. Second time this year, Riverton's broken out the all-black uniforms, black helmets, black tops, black bottoms, all black, trimmed with cardinal red and that RPAW on the side. Buffaloes in their away white uniforms trimmed in gold with the Bison logo on the helmet. It's Ty Sheets taking the kick. He's across the 25, slips out of a tackle across the 30 to the 32. And that is where the Wolverines will start their first possession.
You see that defensive pursuit already. James Inott and Cohen Grossard, who Sheets was able to elude the grasp of on the kick cover and put the Wolverines in about a 7-yard better field position after making the initial 2 guys miss.
The senior Derek DeVries will break the huddle. He'll send 2 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right, as Blake Gattenbein with him in the backfield. DeVries takes the snap, fake the handoff, wants to run with it, and is stuck behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by a couple of Buffalo defenders, including Eli Patterson, who you're going to hear on offense in a moment as the quarterback. Eli is also the defensive point leader for Buffalo, so pretty darn good when you're the leader on both offense and defense.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those guys on various teams this year. Wolverines are going to have to poke and prod a little bit at the run game and just figure out, is there a weak spot in that defensive front at all? Is there any kind of personnel package or any hole we can exploit?
2 receivers to either side. DeVries out of the shotgun. Pressure picked up nicely in the flat. He has Ty Sheets. Sheets battles his way to the 40-yard line, and the first throwing attempt of the ball game is good for a gain of about 6.
Heard Coach Lenhardt and your comments with him in the pregame show, Jared. It's going to be take what this defense gives you when it comes to the pass game. This might be one defense, as they're all well aware of DeVries to McIntosh at this point, but that trigger you may be slower to pull against this secondary. Sounds very fast and very smart. You may have to use some of that off-speed stuff in that throwback screen that we just saw to make any headway.
3rd down and 3. Derek's got 4 to the left side. He'll take it on the run and is going to be met right at the line of scrimmage by a couple of Bison defenders. Nothing doing on the Derek DeVries run attempt. We've seen that not work twice now, and Riverton presumably is going to punt here on 4th down.
Yeah, no gain. That still leaves a good 4th and long 3, so not even at midfield yet. Wolverines are going to have to give it back.
Zane Huber is the deep man for Buffalo. That one from Gage Treber did not come off of the foot particularly well. He did kick it across midfield at least. I think the officials got his hand up, is moving forward, and we'll see where he stops. He'll stop at about the 45-yard line. So 3 and out, Riverton offensively, and Buffalo will take over at their own 45 with 9:56 to play first quarter.
Yeah, just mishit that ball off his foot, right off the right side of his foot, and it's going to be a net 15-yard punt. Not what you're looking for. Gives pretty good starting field position for the Bison.
I've seen Gage Treber punt a couple of times this season. Normally Blake Gattenbein does the punting duty, so we'll keep an eye on that. The pitch to Camino. Camino's got some room out to the right side and a gain of 6 on 1st down. That was Bryce Camino. There are 2 Caminos on this Buffalo roster. Hazen wears number 11, Bryce wears number 9, and Eli Patterson pitched it to him on the first play from scrimmage.
Misdirection in the backfield, as you see here on the Gambles replay, and it just makes it all the more important that everybody sticks to their blocking assignment and keeps an eye on the backfield.
Patterson going to run out of the shotgun. Had a step for a moment, but is going to be smothered by a Riverton defender. Gain of 1. Hunter Saltzgaver there after picking up just 1. You heard Coach Lenhardt on the Porter's Tailgate Show say Hunter's going to have to step up defensively. That's a good start.
I think Gattenbein might have been in there as well, and he's another utility guy. Backup quarterback. He's done some running back on offense for the Wolverines and is now even more important in the second level in the linebacker spot.
Eli Patterson, the big 6'3" quarterback. Out of the shotgun. We'll hand it to Will Hammond, team's leading running back, and Hammond is going to be stopped short of the 1st down. He's going to be short by a good yard. There's Gattenbein, Talon Toman, and maybe a couple other Wolverines making that play. They are into Riverton territory, but on a 4th and 2, it looks like the Bison are going to punt.
Yeah, I'd make sure he kicks it. It's a 1.5 yards. We'll call it 4th and 2. Definitely watch any of those 3-up men you see there.
And it is Eli Patterson, the quarterback, who also punts it. Good punt as Ty Sheets inside of the 10, going to wave everybody off. It'll bounce out of bounds near the 5-yard line. So outstanding punt from Eli Patterson, and the Bison have him pinned deep. But the good news, if you're a Riverton fan, is you force Buffalo to go 3 and out after you went 3 and out.
Yeah, get that offense going here. Sheets waited a little bit too long to make that decision to clear himself out of the way of the ball. Good rule of thumb is to plant yourself on the 10. And if it goes over your head, so be it. But you don't want to be indecisive in that moment that deep and have it bounce off you or turn the ball over in any way there.
Officially the nose of the football at the Riverton 7-yard line. Clay Sheets out to the right side, 2 receivers to the left. DeVries in the shotgun, fades into his own end zone. We'll find McIntyre to Ty Sheets, I believe. That is... I'm going to try for a third time. That is Saltzgaver. DeVries to Saltzgaver is complete, and that is a pickup of 8 on first down.
Just real simple throw into the flat, and again, take what that defense gives you. If something opens up down the field later on, if you're able to establish some of that short passing game and some run game between the tackles, that might loosen up. But Coach Lenhardt very conservative in the first couple of pass play calls that we've seen from him.
Nathan Mills, the center, will put his hand on the football. 2 receivers to either side, and Gettenbein in the backfield with DeVries. DeVries, quick throw to McIntosh. He's got a first down and is out over the 25-yard line. First down of the ball game for either team on a quick throw from DeVries to McIntosh.
Yeah, get yourself out of the shadow of that goalpost a little bit with a couple of nicely conceived short pass plays. That's about as safe a timing route as you'll get between 2 guys like DeVries and McIntosh. DeVries, a very accurate passer, one of the more accurate guys that we're going to play against this year.
Ball at the 26-yard line, empty backfield for DeVries, sends Sheets in motion. There's 4 to the left side. He'll air it out to the left side, has a receiver who doesn't have a lot of running room, picks up a couple on the far side. That's McIntosh again in there for another catch.
Watch DeVries on this quick pass here on this Gamble's replay. You can tell he has been drilled into him all week. Just be careful. Don't make any mistakes. He got it out of there pretty quick, but not as quick as he's capable of. He doesn't want to rush his process and make any mistakes, especially on a ball that's thrown basically sideways. If that goes backwards, it's a lateral.
Derek 4 of 4 passing here to start this one. Midway through the first quarter, no score on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. Trips to the right for the Wolverines. DeVries in the shotgun again. Fake the handoff. Sets to throw. He's got McIntosh. Nick across midfield down to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 25. DeVries now 5 for 5. McIntosh has the last 3 receptions.
When you establish stuff between the tackles or that short passing game, it does bring that secondary up a little bit. I don't care how good the secondary is. Play fake there by DeVries. That time you saw him fire a rocket down the field to McIntosh, who we've talked about is one of the tougher covers when it comes to one-on-one in 3A, I would wager. This is a sideline warning.
Very late flag flew all the way across the field, too, which is interesting. Was that a sideline warning on Buffalo?
It was against Riverton.
That's what I thought, but the flag was right on the Buffalo sideline when it finally flew out there. So, interesting. All right, Riverton into opposing territory for the first time. DeVries is going to go under center. He's got 2 in the backfield, I formation, fake the throw, bootleg out to the right side. Has a receiver that is Clay Sheets, who's down to the 30-yard line. Another Riverton first down and a pickup of 15 through the air. Derek DeVries starts the game 6 of 6. And finds yet another receiver, his 4th of the game already. Clay has his first reception.
DeVries is looking great early on. He's balanced in the pocket. Nice footwork there on the rollout to the right side. His throws have been on the money, every single one of them. And as you just mentioned, Jared, he's spreading the ball around to all of his receivers.
3 receivers out to the left side, 1 in the slot. Now Sheets going to come in motion. We'll set up right side wing. DeVries take it on the pitch play, or the option play. Thought about pitching it backwards. He's just going to tuck it and go, and ultimately loses a yard on the play from Derek. Play didn't look great from the start for the Wolverines offensively, but credit Buffalo and one of their defensive linemen up making a quick play.
I don't know what that was supposed to be. Sheets brought in I thought to block, but as that play develops, he's not getting in front of anybody. He almost looked like he expected to be part of the play somehow. So it may have been a miscommunication or a bit of a broken play.
Riverton will take a step backwards, go 2nd and 11 from the 32-yard line. Derek's in the shotgun again, gets a man to jump. That's Jowers, who will hear his name on defense a little bit, wanting some edge pressure, but jumped across the line before Riverton snapped it. So the encroachment penalty will help give Riverton some yardage and negate the backwards play a little bit. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, obviously, points important on every drive all game long, but can't really overstate the importance of, especially if the Wolverines are able to get into the end zone after Buffalo's had a chance at the ball, get them in a hole early on the road.
Got motion again. That's Jowers. We just saw him jump, and I think he jumped again. Same exact look. And now he's going to come out of the ball game as
his head is not here. Not sure where it is, but defenders especially, you look in, you see the football, you wait till the ball moves, and then you go. Ignore the cadence. Yeah, that's one you expect, and everyone does it. But when a guy does it twice in a row and costs you 10 yards, you got to take him out and get his head reset a little bit.
Hayden's been great all year. He's the number 2 points getter for this team defensively. Not the best stretch right there with back-to-back penalties. DeVries wants to run on 2nd and 1. He's got the first down, and he's got some more. Slips another tackle. DeVries to the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines. Riverton out in front first from 22 yards out. It's Derek DeVries.
This starts up front. This is just good assignment blocking by the entirety of the Wolverine offensive line. See here on the Gambles replay, I'm not sure you're going to see a bad block or any kind of penetration by a white jersey. Oh, that's beautiful. Has a beautiful blocking scheme drawn up there by the Wolverines and perfectly executed.
Extra point from Saltzgaver is through. Derek DeVries from 22 yards out. Riverton marches 93 yards. Takes 4.5 minutes off the clock, and Derek DeVries on a 22-yard run finds the end zone for the first time. It's Riverton 7, number 4 Buffalo 0. 4:34 to play first quarter on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard.
You can save the film of that particular blocking scheme because that's exactly how it's supposed to work, and just show that to those guys up front a whole bunch. They brought in an additional blocker on motion there, and then DeVries did a real good job of hitting the hole pretty quickly, and then being unsurprised that he wasn't contacted, say, I'm still going, hit that second level, and made a couple of guys miss there in the secondary. And that's got to be a big shock for this Buffalo Bison team. Their defense is used to giving up 8.2 points per game, as Jared mentioned in the Porter's Tailgate Show. Wolverines have 7 on the board to their 0 right now.
This Riverton offense has been so much fun to watch all year and have made it just exponential progress all season long, it feels like. So good start for the Wolverines. 4:34 to play first quarter. Saltzgaver is going to tee it up and kick it away for Riverton. Bison send 2 deep to receive. That's Zane Huber and Jaron Sutton, both back there. They've handled most of the receiving opportunities throughout the year for the Bison. And Buffalo perfect in conference play, 5-1 coming into the game. Saltzgaver here's the whistle, will let it fly. It is touched, but then Zuber thought better of it. Actually, that's Camino back there. Camino thought better of it and will let it go to the end zone for a touchback. So it'll be 1st and 10 coming up here for the Bison as they try to answer the Wolverine touchdown.
Yeah. Bison are still going to want to stick with their game plan, I would imagine. They're still going to want to establish the run. They're still going to show misdirection there in the backfield. You just keep doing that as an offense and wait for someone to blow an assignment, and that's when, as the Wolverines have a couple of times this year, that's when the big play is given up.
Eli Patterson stands in the shotgun, trips out to the left. He's got Will Hammond behind him. The give is to the running back Hammond. He tried to cut it out to the right side, and not much doing. Maybe 2 on the play. Wolverine fans will give Derek DeVries a round of applause, who was in there on the tackle. And Ryman, I think I saw 2. Didn't Aziz Wahid is the public address announcer, and he definitely said a different name that I didn't catch. So another Wolverine on the play, too.
What all this is setting up is Patterson can carry the ball, too. And he's a big guy, as you see there at 6'3", quarterback. He'd be difficult to bring down in the open field.
Give is to Hammond. Actually fooled me. It'll be taken out of there. Maybe a little zone read as Patterson will take it, and he's not going to get far either. It's going to set up a third and pretty long after Patterson picked up maybe a yard.
If it was a read, it was just about as good as you could do. Has the ball in that running back's pocket and yanks it out at the very last minute, but great job on that left side of the Riverton defensive front, especially maintaining that gap assignment and not being fooled by any trickery in the backfield.
3:25 to play first quarter, and a 3rd and 7 coming up for the Bison. Would be obviously big to get the Wolverines back off the field if you're an RHS fan. Patterson out of the shotgun, receiver to either side. He'll give it to Hammond this time. Hammond, little stutter step. He's not going to get there. He did pick up 4 or 5, but a handoff on 3rd down and 7, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 2.
I think here on the Gamble's replay, you're going to see Will Hammond being a little bit too patient from that running back spot, really just following his blockers, which is what you're supposed to do, but he did have an alley to his left if he wanted to put on some speed. Didn't get the remaining 2+ yards, and now Buffalo is going to show punt, at least for a second time.
Patterson going to kick it away.
Nice
Ty
kick.
Sheets backing up, will let it go. Took a bounce at the 25 and will bounce out of bounds. Had a conversation with Bo Sheets, who is Ty's dad, also the boys basketball coach and an assistant here on the football coaching staff. We chatted quite a while before this one, and he talked about how much Ty loves returning punts. Says it scares his family members waiting for him to take the punts back there all by himself, but says the adrenaline and the feeling of returning a punt is one of his favorite things to do.
Guys who enjoy doing that are a little different. Let's just say. That was a 58-yard punt. Beautiful flip of the field kick there.
Trips to the left for the Wolverines. One receiver to the right. Gattenbein in the backfield with Derek DeVries. Derek looked at his coach briefly. Now claps his hands. Jowers with great pressure off the left edge tackles DeVries. Derek got it away, but there's that left edge pressure, and Derek comes up hobbled.
So that's a midfoot that you heard last week. We've been speculating about an ankle sort of since the very first game of the very first play of the very first game in 0 week against Pal. And apparently it's not an ankle and is more of a midfoot, but that was obviously a lower body wrap up there, and may have caught some of his foot.
DeVries out of the shotgun again, hobbled. He's got McIntosh wide open. Nick's got it across the 50. Foot race now. Nick cuts it to the left side. Wolverine fans on their feet. McIntosh keeps going. He looked like he was going to be down. He was halfway to the ground, kept his legs moving, and is all the way inside the 20-yard line. A big pickup from the Wolverines' own 22 all the way down to the Buffalo 19.
See if I have a couple of replays here, start of the play and end of the play for the Gamble's replay, because both of those parts of the play are worth a second look. There you see the end of the run with McIntosh, just ridiculous in the open field and so tough to bring down. And here's DeVries to start the play as he's hobbling there. Totally blown coverage in the secondary. McIntosh is wide open. Not sure whose responsibility that was, but there was no safety over the top. And from that point, you saw what Nick McIntosh is able to do in the open field. Couple of big plays already for the Wolverine offense here in the first quarter.
Riverton football at the Bison 19, and Blake Gattenbein is in at quarterback, standing in the shotgun. Flag is going to fly, and we may have a delay of game. I didn't see much else. So
timeout maybe?
Got to let Riverton take a timeout first, so they will say no flag, timeout. Coach Lenhardt, good heads-up timeout to save his team from getting that delay of game penalty, but hopefully the Derek DeVries foot injury is just a short-term thing. He did take quite the hit from Hayden Jowers right before he connected with Nick McIntosh, but after that big pass completion, appears that he's going to come out, and Blake Gattenbein was in at quarterback.
As a quarterback, that throws your whole process off because everything you do is with your feet. So whether it's your plant foot as you're throwing a deep ball like that last play, or whether it's just the set foot in front, it's amazing how a lower body issue like that can change your release points, can change your decision-making even back there. So hopefully, Derek, we've seen him tough it out and get back in these games every single time. Definitely hope he's okay.
Derek, 7 of 8, 125 yards. Riverton has already passed the football. Obviously, that last reception helped a lot, but
he is back out there now.
They've already passed for more than Buffalo gives up on average this season. DeVries is back in the game, as Scott mentioned. He's in the shotgun, under some pressure, steps up in the pocket now, just going to throw it away. Incomplete. Coach Hammond has his hands raised in the air, wanted something, I don't know if it was an intentional grounding or something that he saw, or maybe he's just signaling to his own guys, but either way, incomplete.
He might be onto something there because Derek did not get back. The ball did get back to the line of scrimmage, but he was still inside the left tackle, it looked like, from here when he threw that ball. So there is a case that you could make for grounding. No black jersey in the area, definitely, but no flag on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 10, ends up being a good decision by DeVries.
Great to see Derek go to the sideline, get the play call, and then trot back out with no limp at all. 1:31 to play. Wolverines already up 7-0 and driving. They've got it 2nd and 10 at the Bison 19. Trips to the left side. Ty Sheets is going to come in motion. There's a pitch to DeVries actually takes the pitch. He'll go back to Gattenbein. Gattenbein's down inside the 5-yard line. There is a flag on the play, so we'll see if it stands up. We saw a very similar throwback play against Douglas that worked, and DeVries was the receiver there. I think we'll see it on the Gambles replay. Maybe that was Gattenbein at quarterback. I thought it was Sheets that came in motion, but I think it was DeVries that came in motion and then tried to throw back.
It was DeVries coming in motion, doing a great job of kind of selling the fake of the pitch is I think what they were after, is he got the ball, but unfortunately there was a lineman or somebody downfield too quickly for Riverton. That's going to be the penalty. Just like on a screen pass, a very slow developing play in the backfield like that, the lineman, knowing they have to block downfield, can leak just a little bit too far down the field before the ball is thrown, and that's what happened there.
Obviously a costly penalty for Riverton, negating a big play. It'll be 3rd down and very long now, and penalties were just a killer last week for Riverton against Douglas. Not necessarily the number of penalties, but the timeliness of penalties. Tillman is on the right side wing. Now it is Sheets who lines up in the backfield. They'll pitch it to Sheets. Some more trickiness, a reverse handoff. And we'll see if he can get to the outside. Riverton, that's McIntosh. McIntosh is going to get real close to a 1st down before he's pushed out. Was partially screened from some of the play. I didn't see exactly where they marked him out at. I think he's all the way down inside the 5-yard line, down to near the 4. And it's going to be 1st and goal on the reverse.
That run's enough for another Wolverine.
Yeah, right off of the throwback, you get a reverse. So a couple of tricky plays there from Coach Lenhardt, and didn't quite get the outside edge. I think if he'd hit it a little bit faster, would have been 6 points. But he did make, as you saw there in the Gambles replay, a nice individual effort to make at least one Buffalo Bison miss, and brings the ball to about the 5-yard line for 1st and goal.
Inside of a minute to play 1st quarter, Riverton football 1st and goal from the 4. 3 receivers to the left side. They'll pitch it backwards to Saltzgaver. Saltzgaver cuts it up the field, tried to go left and then cut it back up, and ultimately I think lost a yard. Looked like he had a step there for a moment, but tough sledding for Saltzgaver on the pitch.
So you see here on the Gambles replay, you're going to have 3 to the left side. You see all 3 of those receivers are single covered, and then they're going to bring motion over, the Wolverines are, to overload that left side. And it's straight man. It looked like cover 1, if not cover 0. You see Derek DeVries, I want to see him eat that a little bit further and bring in that defender. But aside from that, had potential.
Riverton quickly to the line. DeVries out of the shotgun. Had a Nick McIntosh open for a second. McIntosh was at about the 2-yard line and had it knocked away out of bounds. Knocked away incomplete. Good job by Hazen Camino there from his defensive back position. So with 2 seconds to play in the quarter, Riverton has a 3rd and goal coming up from the 6-yard line.
This is a pretty important play. You're inside a field goal range. Riverton with a very dependable kicker, but you want the 7. You want to be up on a 5-1 team at home by 2 touchdowns for sure.
Derek now 7 of 10 on the evening. Pending a penalty, last play of the first quarter, 3rd and goal. DeVries out of the shotgun, well protected, fades to the corner of the end zone. Wants Sheets. It's incomplete. Sheets got a hand on it. Would have been an outstanding catch in the back right corner of the end zone, but it does fall incomplete. That's Camino again on coverage there. So it'll be 4th and goal from the 6 for Riverton coming up when we come back to start the second quarter. After 1, it's Riverton 7, Buffalo nothing. Back after a quick timeout on the County 10 Sports Network.
Your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
Every Wolverine football game all season long. Watch on the County 10 YouTube channel or listen on 105.1 Jack FM.
Jared Anderson, Scott Fuller, Jason Peterson, our camera operator here from Riverton High School. Great night for football. Riverton on top of Buffalo at the end of the first quarter, 7-0. And Riverton will have an opportunity here on 4th and goal from the 6. See what they do after the quarter break. It looks like Hunter Saltzgaver, their reliable kicker, is on the field.
Hunter Saltzgaver on to attempt the field goal. McIntosh will hold.
Hunter 4 of 5 kicking field goals this season. Has only missed 1 extra point. That was on a block. This one from about 23 yards out. Left hash. It is through the uprights and good. And the first play of the second quarter results in points for Riverton. It's not the 7 they wanted, but take any points you can get, especially against the number 4 team in 3A football. With 11:56 remaining second quarter, it's Riverton 10, Buffalo 0.
I mean, just about a perfect quarter of football for the Wolverines, especially against this Bison team. Defense stepping up, giving up very nominal first downs. And the offense is doing whatever it wants against a team that is vaunted and well-known and takes pride in their defense. They give up 8 points a game. Wolverines found a way to score 10 here in the first quarter. I want to take it back to the previous drive here, Jared, on the Gambles replay. This is that 3rd and goal, the touchdown play, and he nearly came down with this in the back of the end zone. May not be able to get a great zoom in here, but he was just bobbling it at the end as he came down. That was very close to being a 3rd and goal, 5-yard touchdown pass.
That drive for Riverton started at their own 22 with 2.5 remaining in the first quarter. So about a 2.5-minute drive there if you factor 4 more seconds to this quarter. Riverton has put together 2 really nice back-to-back drives against a stout, renowned defense that the entire state's been talking about. So I think Bison fans a little bit shocked at this point. The Saltzgaver kick is fielded by Camino. Camino's got some space. He bounces it out to the left side. He's got a lot of space across the 40, across midfield. Camino's got maybe 1 to beat and a touchdown-saving tackle from Ty Sheets, but the Bison will start their drive at the Riverton 28-yard line on the great return.
Not what you want to give any team, but certainly not a run-first team. A short field here. You see on the Gambles replay. Look, as Camino hits that first line, how everybody is basically on the wall. Everybody is within 5 yards of him. And when you see that as a returner, all you have to do is break 1 tackle, and you've got a lot of room in front of you.
Buffalo is yet to convert a first down. 11:46 to play, second quarter. Riverton on top now, 10-0. Patterson will take the shotgun snap. Patterson will carry it for a gain of about 7 on first down. So Eli Patterson's fourth running attempt to the ball game. He's got 11.
Yeah, I really like him. I like Patterson as a running quarterback, if only because he's the biggest guy in the backfield. And you may use your other guys to set up either side, tackle to tackle, but I wouldn't want to bring down that number 16.
Second down and 3 coming up for the Bison. Patterson is going to flip it to Camino. Camino's got a lot of space out to the right edge. Will get the edge, and Patterson here, and Camino is all the way down inside of the 5. Finally tackled at the 3. There is the first down of the game for the Bison.
Bison trying to open things up horizontally in the run game. Run outside the tackle, you saw a run to the left side, and then a nice pitch back to the right side.
Patterson stands in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and Eli is just going to run with it. Pyle pushing him forward right near the goal line, and he is in from 2 yards out. Eli Patterson has the first Bison touchdown of the game with 10:58 remaining in the second quarter.
Against a really experienced and talented, especially run team, it's tough to ask your defense to do a whole lot of anything on that short of field. That's what special teams come to factor in. But any kind of defense, it's a tall order to keep an offense like that off the scoreboard.
Hazen Camino's extra point is through the uprights and good. And with 10:58 to play in the second quarter, it is now Riverton 10, Buffalo 7. We talked about big plays. We saw a Riverton give up a big special teams play against Lander. Finn McFadden returned a kick almost 100 yards to the end zone. Big return from Camino on the kickoff there, and a 2-yard punch in from Eli Patterson. So quick drive, and the Bison right back to getting some momentum and right back in this game.
Yeah, it's been very important kick cover, and it's been hit and miss. It's been largely, I would say, good throughout the course of the season, the Wolverine kick cover effort, but there have been holes in it. And when that does happen, it can impact a game. In Lander, Wolverines were able to hang enough points where a single play like that doesn't matter. But the Bison offense really struggled. They've struggled to move the chains on the ground with a long field in front of them. So in a game like this, it can be a much more important play.
Want to thank our friends at Sutherland's making these broadcasts possible. Sutherland's has what you need for every project. Stop on by North Federal in Riverton. Sutherland's wishing all Fremont County athletes the best of luck. Hazen Camino will kick it away for the Wolverines. Sheets and McIntosh once again are deep. Camino will put the leg to it. High end over-ender. Going to be fielded at the 5-yard line. It's McIntosh. Nick tries to make a move. Is going to be cut down, though, at the 15. So Riverton going to be behind the 20 to start, right down at the 15. It looks like is where they're going to put it. And Riverton will start there with 10:54 to play second quarter. Again, Riverton on top, 10-7.
It was Camino, I think, on the tackle. After kicking the ball right down the field and made a very nice open field tackle, which is a lot easier said than done against those two really effective offensive weapons for the Wolverines back there to return kicks.
DeVries will go under center. He's got Gettenbein behind him and 3 receivers to the left side. Fake the handoff and will be tripped up in the backfield. That's Hayden Jowers again. So Hayden started the game defensively with back-to-back offside penalties and has come on nicely to hit Derek DeVries twice.
Yeah, redeems himself a little bit on that play. And you saw a frustrated offensive lineman in the Wolverines knowing that was his assignment, and he let his man through. DeVries nonetheless almost got out of it, just couldn't keep his feet rolling right.
The sack will result in a 10-yard loss, so second down and 20 coming up for the Wolverines. They've got it on their own 5 all of a sudden. Riverton with that great start, go up 10-0 on the first play, field goal of the second quarter. And Buffalo slowly digging into this game. Riverton has an open receiver here momentarily if Derek can find him. Across the middle to McIntosh, tipped off of his hands, just overthrown a little bit it looked like, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Boy, Nick was going to be open and tried to cut across the middle of the field. Derek just a little bit high on the throw, I think.
It's a gutsy play call. That deep in your own territory, extra time taken with a play fake, and you're right, that slant, he was wide open. Safety coming up, and McIntosh might have felt those feet a little bit, might have heard some footsteps, but it was just a little bit overthrown by DeVries.
Riverton could use a big play here. 3rd and 20 from their own 5. They'll send 4 receivers out to the left side. DeVries in the shotgun, his heels in his own end zone. 1 man in motion. DeVries will throw it out in the flat to Sheets, who is leveled. Sheets may have still been in his own end zone, and it fell incomplete anyway, so 4th down coming up. Ty is slow to get up.
Yeah, he got hit. Got hit, and I don't think he expected it coming. Talk about gutsy calls deep in your own territory. That's one of them. They've thrown effectively in the flat, but that was well read. Look here on the Gamble's replay how tight to the line of scrimmage 10 of those guys are for Buffalo, and that's just a beautiful angle taken by the defender. There's nothing you can do about that as a receiver.
Gage Treber about as far back in his own end zone, will get it away. It hits at the 30-yard line, takes a Bison bounce, and that's going to be almost exactly where Buffalo came up with their last start to the possession at the Riverton 28.
No, you're just giving it to them now. You can't give a team this good that kind of field position. You just can't. And didn't go that the Wolverines' way on that last 3 and out, obviously. The holding call not helping anything. Definitely a big play opportunity there between DeVries and McIntosh. Didn't work out, and now a very short field for Buffalo.
9:41 to play, 2nd quarter. They'll give it to Hammond on 1st down, who tries the right side off right guard. Will have 2 or 3 on 1st down. Hammond's 3rd carry. He's got 10 yards.
No panic in this Bison offense. Just run your offense. Wait for it to work. And again, it does not make things any easier for the Wolverine defense when you only have to march 30 yards to score.
Eli Patterson's got 3 receivers out to his left side, 1 to his right. Hammond in the backfield will give it, read option again. He'll pull it out of there and plow forward for 3. So Eli just took it himself. He's ran it 5 times now, has 14 yards, and 3rd down and 3 coming up for Buffalo from the Riverton 21-yard line with 8:45 to play, 2nd quarter. Again, for our radio audience, it's Riverton 10, Buffalo 7. Bison threatening here, but 3rd down. Patterson out of the shotgun. 3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Hammond stands behind him. Give it to Hammond, who is going to be short of the 1st down. Did pick up a couple. The Wolverine coaches thought the ball was loose. Didn't see an official get in there like they thought there was a fumble. So Wolverine coaches were excited for a moment.
Bison came out with it. 4th down, and Buffalo's moving quick here.
Buffalo wants to go for it. It looks like on 4th and 2. Riverton fans making noise. Patterson faked the handoff, has a receiver. Does he get to the 1st down marker? Nope. Looks like he's going to be a little bit short. I saw Caden Liebricht in there. I saw Derek DeVries make a play, and there were probably some Wolverines I didn't see, but 4th and 2. Patterson completed the football to Zane Huber, and he did not get the 1st down.
I think Eli Patterson, Buffalo's quarterback, needs to let this play develop a little bit and let his receiving option get outside of the tackle. I think that's the only way the Wolverines were able to diagnose it so quickly and get on the ball quick enough to stop the 1st down effort. They did not stop him short by much, maybe about a half yard, but it's all the same. 1st down for the Wolverines.
Riverton football at their own 19 as they stop him on downs. Hand off to Gattenbein off the left side. Gattenbein picks up a couple on first down. Not much doing there for Blake's first carry.
Gattenbein's been one of those utilitarian guys, backup quarterback in week 0, and now has to step in for some injuries to play some running back.
It was a big stop defensively for Riverton right there, not to give up any points. Trips out to the right side. DeVries in the shotgun.
Just single coverage across the board right here.
Sheets to the left. DeVries slaps his hands, will throw it to Gattenbein. Gattenbein will be knocked out of bounds in front of his Riverton coaching staff right near the line to gain, and I think he's got a first down by about a yard, pickup of 9. DeVries to Gattenbein, and a Riverton first down.
Where is Nick McIntosh right here? Same defensive coverage from Buffalo.
DeVries out of the shotgun. Empty backfield. Derek's going to run with it. Runs into Will Hammond first. Does pick up 3 on first down.
See the Wolverines moving quickly. May have been something they worked on in practice here this week. Now they are going to go back and huddle up. Sometimes, now they're right back on the ball. Sometimes you do that so you get the same look that you had on the previous play. And the Wolverines, for the 3rd play in a row, will see single coverage.
Empty backfield again. Derek's in the shotgun. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. It's Gattenbein and Sheets on the left side. Derek fades to throw under pressure early. Gets the ball away. Wanted Saltzgaver, and it falls incomplete. Well defended by Ryan Nicholas.
I think you'll see on the Gambles replay that Nicholas was there a little bit early, and I think it was route altering enough to throw the flag. I think that was borderline. Not one that likes to see a whole lot of pass interference called, but if you inhibit the receiver's ability to make the catch and he otherwise reasonably would, that's the definition of pass interference. I think you could have gotten it there, just had Nicholas arriving a little bit early, but no flag.
3rd and 7. Staring at the Wolverines from their own 33-yard line. 5 receivers again for Derek, and whistles. I think we've got Riverton's 2nd timeout. Coach Lenhardt will talk it over before they go for this 3rd down play. Gives us a chance to thank Wyoming 4x4, wishing all Fremont County athletes good luck. Wyoming 4x4 is located north of Riverton. Your one-stop shop for all your vehicle upgrade needs, from lifts to bumpers and bedliners. That's Wyoming 4x4. Also, thanks to our friend Tyler Watson at State Farm, proud Wolverine athletic supporter at State Farm. They're ready to protect your future. Get in touch with Tyler Watson, State Farm agent, today. And, of course, at the end of the game, we get the opportunity to select our State Farm Tyler Watson player of the game.
Know Tyler pretty well. He is my insurance agent, actually, so I can vouch.
The Wyoming High School Activities Association.
Riverton on top of Buffalo 10-7. Riverton put together 2 really nice drives. It took Buffalo until the early stages of the 2nd quarter to get their first down of the game. Riverton held the Bison to 2 3-and-outs back-to-back. A big play coming up out of the timeout with 6:34 remaining 2nd quarter. It's 3rd and 7 from Riverton's own 33. DeVries has 1 in the backfield, trips out to the right side. Derek will look to his coaching staff, see if they make any adjustments. Ty Sheets is the lone receiver to the left.
I think on that right side you could run some kind of cross or some kind of pick play.
Shotgun snap to DeVries. DeVries will air it out to Saltzgaver on the left side, and Saltzgaver has a first down across the 40 and all the way out to the 44-yard line.
Football is a game of inches, that's what they say, and you'll see this swing pass to the left side and how close this was to a pick 6. And instead, turns out to be a nice 3rd down conversion on a 3rd and long for the Wolverines. Fortunes of games like this, where you expect a tight game, can swing one way or the other just based on a fingertip.
Hunter Saltzgaver's 3rd reception. Coach Lenhardt told us in the Porter's pregame show we'll see a little bit more of him, and we have so far. 1st and 10 Wolverines. 5 receivers again for DeVries. Stands in the pocket, delivers. McIntosh right at midfield, spins away from a defender, and McIntosh picks up another yard. He's going to get about 9.5 on first down, it looks like.
So Buffalo here on the Gambles replay, they're still showing single coverage there to the trips to the right side, but they are backing way off. And as Coach Lenhardt told you, Jared, before the game, the Porter's Tailgate Show, if they're going to play 8-10 yards off the line, just throw a little dink and dunk and take your 5. Turned out actually pretty well for a gain of 9 with some run after the catch there.
I'll get you some Nick McIntosh stats coming up, but he's got already over 100 receiving yards in the ball game. Give it to Gattenbein in the backfield this time. Gattenbein to the right side will pick up 2, and that's all he needs for another Riverton first down.
Blake is not afraid there in the backfield to at least hit the hole and see what happens. Doesn't have the greatest balance. He's not I don't think a bred and trained running back, but he has shown nothing but improvement throughout the course of the season. And one thing that sometimes you can't teach younger running backs especially is to hit that hole, and that's one thing that Blake is unafraid to do.
Nick McIntosh is averaging 131 receiving yards per game. Unofficially, by my count, he is already at 106 in this one. 1st and 10 Wolverines from the Bison 46, but they're going to be on their way backwards with a procedure flag.
Yep, so the receiver just, even as he's looking in at the ball, just couldn't stop himself from his momentum taking him forward a step.
Brings us 1st and 15.
Riverton started this drive at their own 19. They've got it at their own 49 now after the penalty. 1st and 15. Derek's in the shotgun. Trips to the left, 2 to the right, empty backfield. Derek under a whole lot of pressure, and wow, Hayden Jowers again. 3rd time he's gotten to Derek DeVries, his 2nd sack.
Yeah, I trust Derek in the pocket to make these decisions, but I think the rule here has to apply. If you're going to hitch, you got to go. If you're going to start that throwing motion, you got to go, just because of the pass rush that they're going to be seeing from Buffalo. And his right tackle just gave way a little bit. He had time for the first look, but not the second idea he had.
Riverton going to lose quite a bit of yardage on the second Hayden Jowers sack of the game. It's now a 2nd down and 21. Derek out of the shotgun again. Derek to Ty Sheets. Sheets' little hook and ladder play didn't result in much more, but Sheets pitched it to Saltzgaver, and ultimately it's going to get Riverton right back to midfield. 3rd and long coming up.
That's maybe my favorite trick play in football, the hook and ladder. Gamble's replay. I think the problem that you're going to see here with this hook and ladder is that there is not enough time, or there's not enough space, rather, on the sideline to make the pitch. And there just wasn't enough field left to make anybody miss after the pitch.
3rd down and 14 coming up after the trickery from Riverton. Ball right at midfield. DeVries in the shotgun, looking to his right under a lot of pressure. Wanted to check it down, but it falls incomplete. Overshoots Saltzgaver. Wasn't going to go for much anyhow. Derek was under a lot of duress that time, and the pass goes incomplete, setting up a 4th down at midfield.
Wolverines honestly may be better off if that was incomplete. Who knows what happens with that kind of pursuit. Looked like Derek was looking that way the whole time, and if he was, just waited a little bit too long to throw it into the flat there. But you are up on the scoreboard, so nothing crazy. Punt the ball away.
Camino back deep.
Much better punch.
Gage Treber doing the punting duties. Takes a Buffalo bounce, and Riverton will down it at about the 25-yard line. Good to see Gage Treber getting a better punt off that time. And shout out to Gage, too, with the pink sleeves on pink nights at Riverton High School, raising money for the Tough Enough Cancer Fund of Fremont County. There's a big tailgate party going on, so shout out to all of those folks doing something for the better good of Fremont County. 1st and 10 coming up here at the Buffalo 25-yard line. 3:49 to play, 2nd quarter. Patterson out of the shotgun. Read option again. Patterson under a lot of pressure in the backfield. He's cut down by a Wolverine. A loss of 5. Callan Tillman and Derek DeVries there. DeVries credited with the tackle.
See here in the Gambles replay, Eli is looking for that right edge, and you see the left side of the Riverton defense holding it just well enough to allow for some help coming in from the secondary, and that's how you do that. That's how you force an inside play outside and then clean it up toward the sideline.
2nd down and 16. Now for the Bison. 3 receivers for Patterson. He'll give it to Hammond. Hammond's got a seam off the right side. He'll get back past the original line of scrimmage, plus a couple more, gain of 8 on 2nd down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8.
And a pretty important 3rd down early in this game, too. It's a 3rd and long for a run-first team. Just maintain your assignments, watch any kind of trickery, and try to get pursuit off both of those edges into the backfield to disrupt whatever is coming up here on 3rd and 8.
Eli Patterson, senior quarterback, in the shotgun. Receiver to either side. Fake the handoff to Hammond. Now he looks for a receiver and overthrows Gosard. Wanted Cohen Gosard, but overthrows him, incomplete. And it'll bring up a 4th and 8 for the Bison. They appear that they'll punt.
So when you're back there throwing as quarterback, you want your shoulder in a certain position, you want your feet in a certain position. To ask a quarterback to do a full pirouette, for lack of a better football term, and spin all the way around and throw the ball quickly is asking a lot of anybody.
Patterson stands at the 20 and boots it away, gets off another nice punt. It's Sheets that fair catches it at his own 35. So 2:24 to play in the 2nd quarter. Riverton will take over. And Scott, this is kind of the territory where we are used to seeing Riverton put together nice drives.
They do manage to string together nice drives at the end of the first half. I mean, honestly, we have too much time. We're used to seeing this.
Take a knee.
Team. They also have a timeout left, which is unusual. So they have plenty of time. We're used to seeing this Wolverine team before the end of first halves put points on the board, going 60 yards in 45 seconds. We have 2:24 and a timeout here, so plenty of time to stick with your offense.
Big Red on top of the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, 10-7 here in the 2nd quarter. Derek DeVries in the shotgun, 2 receivers to either side, 1 in the backfield. Derek wants to throw. He finds Branson Saltzgaver for his first reception. We've called Hunter's name a few times. That's a pickup of 5 on 1st down to Branson.
Yeah, the Bison, especially when the Wolverines are going 3 wide, 4 wide, sometimes 5 wide, they are single coverage across the board, but they're giving them a ton of space underneath.
Derek wants to throw again, looking for Clay Sheets off of his hands. Incomplete, well defended by Zane Huber.
What this is begging for then is a hitch and go. You drop DeVries back 3-4 steps. You fake that short pass that the Wolverines have thrown. You hitch that, and then you send McIntosh flying down the seam. I think that if Buffalo's going to stay in this cover, I think they're just kind of begging for it right now.
Derek's attempted 21 passes so far. He's completed 12 of them. 3rd and 5 from Riverton zone 41. DeVries breaks the huddle. He's got 2 receivers to either side of the formation. And Gettenbein with him in the backfield. DeVries wants to throw, looking to his right. It's complete to McIntosh for a 1st down. You dial up Nick McIntosh when you need a play. He's got 7.
That's a nice route by McIntosh. Nice job going up to make the catch. Now, I'm not sure if that ball was high or not. Definitely was up there on the Gambles replay. If you get that ball on McIntosh's body without him having to jump, might be able to make a move.
Riverton going fast. DeVries sets his feet, finds McIntosh on the other side, and Nick's knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Pick up a 7.
Gambles replay again, just to see Nick across the field here. This is a little tiny football detail, but watch as he catches that ball and how efficient he is getting his shoulder pads upfield just seamlessly, just instinctually, and gaining the extra yardage after the catch.
Nick and Clay Sheets go out to the right side. Branson Saltzgaver and Ty Sheets to the left. DeVries in the shotgun. Wants to run with it. Waits patiently for a blocker. He's got a 1st down and more inside of the 40. down to the 39-yard line. DeVries picks up 6 on the ground for a first down.
Wolverine offense, as you indicated, Jared, they really have been a whole lot of fun to watch. Just because of how multidimensional they are, especially with DeVries in there. He's a threat to run. He's a very accurate passer. They have a couple of big offensive receiving weapons. They have a minute and a half and counting with still a timeout. Plenty of time for the Wolverines before half.
Derek wants to throw again all the way back across midfield. Flag comes flying in. Gattenbein's got a lot of room in the meantime. Good block, and Gattenbein has a first down, but let's check the penalty.
I think you may have seen a Wolverine offensive lineman a good 5 yards down the field. If it wasn't a holding call, I think he could get ineligible downfield as well.
Be the third penalty of the game against the Wolverines, it looks like, as they've already marched the ball backwards.
It was a hold, the indication, which is the 10-yard variety. We've still seen this. It's interesting how the Wolverines seem to get themselves in trouble. And we've seen it a couple of times tonight, but these end-of-drive halves, something always goes wrong at the end of half drives. Whether it's a penalty or some kind of sack, and the Wolverines still, usually through DeVries to McIntosh up the seam, are able to dig themselves out of it like it never happened.
Football near midfield at the Buffalo 49-yard line. 1st and 20 with 1:14 to play in the half. DeVries, 3 receivers to his right, 1 to the left. Derek makes one man miss in the backfield, wants Sheets, who bats it away, and it's picked off. Intercepted by a Bison defender, and that was just a strange bounce to Thomas Wonka, who was there off of the deflection from Sheets.
You can see here on the Gamble's replay, unlucky bounce. Also a difficult throw for DeVries to make. Throwing directly in front of him and then having to square his shoulder as he's moving to the right can be difficult too. So that's an unfortunate break. Defense has 67 seconds to step up and keep Buffalo off the scoreboard.
Bison football at their own 37. Momentum shifter there as Patterson wants to throw. Has a complete out to Jaron Sutton for Sutton's first catch. And Buffalo trying to work fast. Patterson in the shotgun, 2 receivers to either side. Hammond with him in the backfield. Ball's on the floor. Tried to give it to Hammond, but Patterson was there to scoop it up off the turf. Does go backwards for a loss of 3 or 4.
See that sometimes on the read option. The quarterback will want to wait as long as possible and then just rip the ball out of the running back's pocket if he changes his mind. And sometimes that can happen. If you wait too long or if the running back moves in a direction you're not expecting, you can lose a handle on the ball. And Buffalo very fortunate with still 50. That's the timeout clock. Not sure where we're at on the first half time, but still plenty of time for Riverton to put something together if they were able to come up with that fumble. But Patterson was able to get back on it.
Yeah, Coach Rob Hammond taking the timeout there and trying to continue this drive. 3rd down and 13 facing the Buffalo Bison again. Buffalo undefeated in conference play this year. They are 5-1 overall this season. Riverton with a win tonight could secure a playoff spot. Buffalo with a win would wrap up the 3A East and get the number 1 spot there. Wolverines trying to prevent that from happening on their home field.
I think it would be a bigger win for the Wolverines, obviously, to clinch that playoff spot, but teams in very similar situations. Buffalo with a 5-1 record, used to winning. They want to secure that number 1 seed too.
3rd and 13 out of the timeout. 38 seconds to play in the half. Patterson's in the shotgun. Trips to the right, 1 to the left. Hammond with him in the backfield. Low snap, read option. He'll pull it out of there and cross the 45-yard line. Actually, just shy of the 45, down at the 44. Bison going to go quick on 4th down and 5 now. It's Patterson in the shotgun.
I don't know why you don't call a timeout. Like 15 seconds ago.
Clock at 17 seconds. 15 seconds. Continues to run. Wolverine fans making a whole lot of noise, and now a timeout asked for finally by Coach Hammond. I guess the strategy is not awful if you're playing a little bit of defense, but it sure it limits what you can do offensively if you do pick this up.
His fourth down is the problem. And if you're going to end up taking the timeout anyway, I can't think of a situation where that was on purpose, where that was what you wanted to have happened. And I'm not sure if it's a signal mix-up there as they got back to the line, try to hurry up. But way too much time going off the clock for Buffalo, and they have to use their second timeout. They do have one left, but the difference between 15 seconds and 35 seconds is huge when it comes to where you can spike the ball to try to get yourself, run a quick run play to center the ball if your kicker wants the ball in a certain place, if it's field goal.
4th down and 5. Ball at the Buffalo 44-yard line. Patterson will pitch it to Camino. Camino's got a lot of room off the left side. He's got a 1st down and more. Goes out of bounds inside the 45-yard line, but now just 4 seconds to play in the half. And probably the last play of the half here from 44 yards away.
You see a timeout here by, I think Riverton may have taken this one. No, it was Buffalo's final timeout to talk things over.
Buffalo.
Not that I'm wishing this upon Riverton, but saw interesting college football last night in a similar situation at the end of the game here with Houston throwing a Hail Mary to beat West Virginia. We'll see what kind of arm Eli Patterson has.
Yeah, or some kind of hook and ladder or some kind of trickery otherwise, but there's only time for one play, and I don't see why you don't stick 3 guys in the end zone right now and 3 guys on the 20, and then just try to get some kind of a pass rush on just to prevent anything that might happen. You see how that extra 12, 15 seconds would have been hugely beneficial for Buffalo right now.
Give a shout out to Ted on the YouTube comment, kind of echoing what I was maybe hypothesizing, saying if they didn't make a 1st down, they didn't want Riverton to have enough time, but now they've set themselves up with a very long scenario here from 44 yards away with 4 seconds left in the half. Patterson dances around, will get it away to Hammond. Hammond will be tackled at the 35-yard line, and that'll take us to the intermission. Riverton on top of number 4 Buffalo as we head into the locker room, 10-7. And you got to feel pretty good if you're a Riverton fan to hold a lead, but the way Riverton put a couple of drives together there, a couple of strange bounces, and it could be a very different game, even more so in favor of Riverton. That bounce on the interception was unfortunate for the Wolverines, but I still think you feel pretty good if you're a Riverton fan right now.
Oh, yeah, I think everybody would take 10-7 over Buffalo at the half and just run away with it. I think that's absolutely almost best-case scenario for the Wolverines. They did have a couple of things go wrong in that first half, but it could go either way in a close game like this anyway. But more or less, defensive side of the ball especially, you executed what you wanted. Points for Buffalo coming on very short fields. And when everything else, special teams and getting a couple of 1st downs on offense to at least flip field position a little bit, when all that's worked out, the Riverton defense has stepped up, and the Bison haven't been able to do a whole lot. Offensively, Wolverines had a couple of bad breaks. They had a couple of good breaks. It could have been disastrous for them, but they've also been able to move the ball with Gattenbein and DeVries running the ball a little bit, and then that deep seam has been there, and that I think is what I've been most surprised by, that as vaunted and as proud of this secondary and the defense as a whole as Buffalo is, DeVries has been able to more or less pick them apart.
Run down just a couple of key stats here as we watch the Riverton High School marching band coming onto the field. If you're watching along with us on County 10's YouTube channel, let you watch a little bit of that ahead of their state marching band competition, which happens tomorrow in Casper. How about this, though, Scott? Buffalo, this is very unofficial, but according to my stats, Bison with just 53 yards of total offense, which is about the best Wolverine defensive performance I think we've seen this season. On the flip side, Riverton's got 240 yards of total offense. Buffalo on the season per game allows just 199 yards of total offense, so Riverton has already surpassed that.
It does not look like the same Buffalo Bison team. The stats don't make sense. Just what you're seeing on the field, a lot of this seems to be surprising the Bison, and it's all on film. The Wolverines haven't run anything, with the exception of that, maybe that reverse or a couple of trick plays here and there. But even the throwback that they tried that was called back on a penalty, that was run last week. There's nothing that the Wolverines have done that they don't typically do, except trying to maybe establish DeVries running the ball a little bit more. I think they've swung it out a little bit more than they typically do, so they haven't necessarily attacked downfield, but they've had a couple of big plays downfield as well. So the Wolverines, I think that's, anytime you see that, I think that's offensive and defensive line execution. I think by and large, especially on the defensive front, you're seeing guys fulfill their assignments and get into the backfield on defense. Give Derek at least 2.5, 3 seconds in the pocket to at least make one read. It worked pretty well, as you could hope, I think, for the Wolverines in that first half.
Again, we are at the intermission. Riverton on top of Buffalo 10-7. Riverton scored first at the 8:04 mark in the first quarter. A 22-yard run from Derek DeVries. Riverton scored again on a 23-yard field goal from Hunter Saltzgaver, putting them up 10-0. That field goal was answered quickly after a nice kickoff return from Hazen Camino, and then a 2-yard Eli Patterson run into the end zone. So at the 10:58 mark of the second quarter, it was 10-7. It's been stuck there ever since, and we have an interesting second half of football straight ahead. Coming up, it's the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. We will run down a few more stats, get a little more in-depth into some individual numbers for you, and we'll also take a look at some scores of interest from around Wyoming high school football. At the half here, it's Riverton 10, Buffalo 7. We'll step aside for a brief timeout, bring you the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show coming up on County 10's YouTube channel and 105.1 Jack FM.
This guy was driving way over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a lot over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a little over the speed limit. Look at the damage.
Myers Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
County 10 is your Fremont County news leader. We're everywhere, on the web, mobile, social, and on your radio dial, with all the news you need to feel connected. From sports to board meetings and community features, we work hard to bring you all the latest updates you care about. Visit us today at county10.com. County 10, community connected.
Elevate Rehab's founding principle on you is evident from your first visit to the last. Our practice model ensures treatment as you deserve, a private one-on-one session with a licensed therapist the entire visit, every visit. All therapists hold advanced credentialing, including 2 certified hand therapists, an orthopedic clinical specialist, an MDT therapist, as well as pelvic floor and pregnancy rehab offerings. With over 100 years of combined experience between our 7 clinicians, Elevate is your ticket to health. Find us in Lander, DuBois, and visit our website or Facebook page. Choose Elevate Rehab.
Welcome you into the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show as the RHS marching band plays behind us. Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. Wyoming Department of Transportation makes that possible. They remind you to wear your seatbelt every time you get into a vehicle. If you're cruising around Fremont County right now, make sure that seatbelt is fastened no matter how short or far your drive across the state is. Please buckle up your seatbelt. Seatbelts save lives. Riverton on top of Buffalo 10-7 at the half. Again, the Wolverines over 240 yards of total offense. And by my count, which is very unofficial, the Bison have just 53 yards of total offense here. A couple of short drives. The scoring drive started at the Riverton 28-yard line. So not a lot of offense from this Buffalo team we've seen so far. When Eli Patterson's had to throw the football, he's done very well. He's 5 of 6, and that has only gone for 20 yards overall, but he's been very accurate. Eli Patterson has ran the football 9 times and accumulated 20 yards. Will Hammond has carried the football 5 times for 19 yards. Bryce Camino, the favorite target of Patterson so far, 2 catches for 21 yards. Riverton, they've thrown the ball a lot more. Derek DeVries, 14 of 24, passing 184 yards and has a running touchdown. Does have 1 interception, does Derek DeVries. Passing, Derek running, these numbers I feel like are skewed a little bit because he's been sacked twice, but unofficially he's ran the ball, if you count the sacks, 8 times. If you don't count the sacks, 6 rush attempts there and contributed 9 yards. If you take away the 2 sacks, he's got over 20 yards on the ground. Blake Gattenbein's carried the football twice for 4 yards. Hunter Saltzgaver has carried the ball once for 8 yards. Nick McIntosh has been the favorite receiver for Derek DeVries. 5 catches, 113 yards. Ty Sheets has caught the ball 3 times for 23 yards. Clay Sheets has a catch for 15 yards, and Hunter Saltzgaver has caught the ball 3 times for 18 yards. So there you go. Look at some of the individual numbers in this one. The main number is 10-7 on the scoreboard. Riverton on top of Buffalo. I'm going to refresh my YOPreps.com scoreboard here and get you a couple of scores of interest. Let's start with the 3A scoreboard. There's some interesting things going on in Fremont County, too, I'll tell you about here shortly. But looking at 3A scores tonight, in the third quarter, it's number 2 Powell all over Jackson at 38-6. And then this is a second quarter score, so we got a lot more game to go. But how about this? In Evanston tonight, it's Cody 7, Evanston 6.
Yeah. I mean, Evanston has been a difficult team to figure out since the week before we went down there and played them, because I felt like that was a very winnable game going in, and I felt like that was a winnable game for the Wolverines coming out. And you just wonder what that Star Valley game did to Cody last week and maybe deflated that balloon a little bit, because that was the primetime heavy hitter 1 and 2 3A matchup, and Cody got rolled. And some teams respond to that differently, but we've seen all these teams. Evanston is on the rise. They are not Cody. So you wonder if there's a little bit of a negative hangover there by the Bronx. Granted, it's on the road, but that's a surprising score. But as you say, it's only a first half score, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on that one. That
would screw up a lot. That would throw all kinds of stuff in our math equation.
Yes, on both sides. Cody and Evanston there will, that would be very interesting. Keep an eye on that one. And then I'm interested next week, too, as Cody takes on Powell to wrap up the regular season. Elsewhere in 3A, second quarter score, Douglas is up on Rollins 21-0. Worland leads Lander 14-0 in Washakie County. If you're interested in checking that one out, our friend Wyatt Barijka has the video coverage of that on County 10's YouTube channel. You can flip over. And just getting underway from Green River, it's number 1 Star Valley at Green River tonight. That was a 7 o'clock kickoff. Taking a look at some Fremont County scores of interest. There's a big rivalry game going on tonight in Shoshone in 1A 9-man football. And the Wind River Cougars are currently up big in the third quarter. It's Wind River 46, Shoshone 16. The Cougars have state championship aspirations. And on the County 10 Sports Podcast this week, we had both of those head coaches joining us. Rod Frederick feels like his team is a very confident bunch. Big Piney knocked off Wyoming Indian earlier today, 66-6. And in 6-man football, it was DuBois taking care of Hannah Elk Mountain 62-6. Really cool story, and I'm trying to get some more history on Fremont County football. I've texted a couple of contacts on this, but I want to give a shout out to Brianna Grove of DuBois High School. Brianna is the first ever girls football player at DuBois High School. Today's her birthday, and today was the first ever female touchdown for the DuBois Rams. Brianna's just a freshman and scored a touchdown in the Rams' victory today. I've texted several people, and the answer so far that I've heard from some historical folks for Fremont County football, they think that may be the first ever female football player in the county to score a touchdown. So Brianna Grove at DuBois. That's a good question, too. I have not gotten that far in my research.
Well, you wouldn't have to, somebody wouldn't have to go that far back. I played with a female in high school 20-plus years ago. Coaching, I had, I think, a total of 4 female players over various teams, but that's obviously a pretty modern phenomenon, so you wouldn't have to go back in the full archives to find that. I just wonder if that's something that anyone's kept track of across the state.
Yeah, we'll do our best to dive into that and have more on County 10 Sports next week, but obviously a great story. You're rooting for Brianna, Wyatt, and Wyatt Bridgka, our sports guy, and I had the opportunity to see DuBois a couple weeks ago in Casper. We will have another DuBois game coming up next week, but the Rams are also playoff bound representing Fremont County. So there you go, a few scores around Fremont County and 3A football. This is the Buffalo Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. Riverton on top of the Buffalo Bison 10-7. We'll get you squared away for the second half of action after we take one more time out. You are watching the Wolverines on County 10's YouTube channel and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
Eyes on Fremont, we know that good vision is about more than just seeing clearly. That's why we're dedicated to providing expert eye care for the whole family. From children's exams to contacts, LASIK to glaucoma treatment, we're here to help. We accept most insurance plans, and our experienced team will make sure you feel right at home. Schedule an appointment today at 111 South Broadway in Riverton, or give us a call at 307-856-9000. Visit WyomingEyes.net to learn more.
Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, mask calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one that needs help.
Wyoming Catholic College is a unique institution that offers an immersion in the Western tradition, the beauty and challenges of the wilderness, and the treasures of the Catholic spiritual heritage. Our mission is to provide a unique educational experience that nurtures the body, mind, and spirit. We are proud of our alumni success stories and the learning opportunities we offer through our academic outreach program. Come and explore our campus in Lander, Wyoming.
This is Maven, award-winning optics for the adventurous. From binoculars to spotting scopes, Maven has you covered. Be prepared for scouting, wildlife watching, or any outdoor adventure. As a proud sponsor of local high school sports, we wish all the Fremont County athletes the best of luck this season. Visit mavenbuild.com for more information and to order. Maven, discover something new.
Every Wolverine football game all season long. Watch on the County 10 YouTube channel or listen on 105.1 Jack FM.
Buckle up for life. Wyoming half continues. Thanks to YDOT for sponsoring the halftime programming and reminding you to always wear your seatbelt. Riverton on top of number 4 Buffalo 10-7 at the intermission. Both teams back out on the playing surface getting some last-minute instructions from their respective head coaches. Big shout-out to all of you watching along on County 10's YouTube and Facebook pages. Thanks for all the comments so far, and extra shout-out to Brecken, who is watching in Texas this evening.
Sounds familiar. He or she, I'm not sure about Brecken, but they were watching last week, I want to say. If not last week, I definitely...
Was that our Houston comments, or we had somebody from Houston?
I remember Brecken, though. I remember you.
Brecken...
it's a cool name.
Brecken looks like he may be a local, so maybe doing some vacationing or something. But either way, shout out to you, Brecken, watching in Texas. Drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching. We'll give you some shout outs throughout the game and appreciate all of the supports.
Notice before the game, Jared, Buffalo took every moment of time in the locker room. They actually missed the national anthem, and they were first out. Riverton, I've never seen them come out of a halftime locker room so late. They've only had about 2 minutes to warm up, and now they'll be kicking it away.
Saltzgaver's got it teed up for the Wolverines. Camino and Zuber back deep to receive for the Bison. And Buffalo won the coin flip about an hour and a half ago, deferred to the second half. Short kick fielded by one of the up men who gets it across the 35-yard line down to the 37. That was James Einat, who did a nice job handling the football and will set up the Bison in pretty good shape.
First squib that we've seen from the Wolverines on kickoff. Trade-off there, obviously, is you might get a bounce, you might force a turnover on the opening kickoff, but you give up potentially, usually, quite a bit of field position. So Buffalo's going to start not too bad from their own 38.
Eli Patterson in the shotgun has Will Hammond with him in the backfield. Give it to Will. Will working out the left side will be dropped at the 40-yard line, gain at 2 for Will Hammond to start the second half.
A little bit of an issue on the mesh there, as Hammond was taking the handoff from his quarterback. Did manage to get the ball secured, but I thought those two Wolverine defenders might be able to pop that one loose. Short gain on the run. Wolverines have been very stout between the tackles defensively. A couple of big runs here and there, but not too many.
Patterson breaks the huddle in the shotgun, sends 2 receivers out to the left side. Camino on the wing right will give it to Hammond, give it to Camino on the reverse. Camino's got a step and a lot of room. Camino's off to the races now. Foot race. Camino 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown from his own 39 on a reverse play. It's Camino to the end zone.
Yeah, this happens pretty quick in the backfield on the Gamble's replay. If you blink, you'll miss it. You'll see the initial handoff, and then all that first back is going to do is hand it right to the offset back, and he's got a lead blocker. They got the edge pretty easily on that play, and not a whole lot. We'll just say the misdirection worked the way it was supposed to for the Bison on that one.
Bryce Camino with the long score. Hazen Camino puts the extra point up and good, and a 61-yard run as Buffalo on top of the ball game for the first time less than a minute into the third quarter.
Wolverines have given up in different games big plays here and there, and they usually frankly do. They'll give up 1 or 2, and so it's something that I think the coaching staff is used to remedying and just saying, here's what you do on that play if it comes up again. But that's one play. And the entire first half, you held your gap assignments, did a great job pursuing, great job tackling. That's one play, guys. Just one play. And we'll see what the Wolverine offense can do to start this first drive of the second half, because Buffalo it's unusual for them. They're not a quick strike offense. It's a 59-second opening play touchdown drive for 61 yards, I believe.
"61-yard scamper indeed," and man, Just a deflating first 59 seconds of the third quarter for Riverton, but we'll see how the Wolverines answer here. Hazen Camino will kick it away for the Bison.
I guess that's what I was getting at, is you want to avoid that, because we've talked to Coach Lenhardt about knowing that you're supposed to be able to win. And the kids see the record. You know, this is a 5-1 team, and you want to prevent them from slipping into, oh yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be. Now we're losing.
Sheets and McIntosh back deep to receive. Camino will have a short kick that takes a big bounce at the 20-yard line. Comes back to Sheets. Sheets up the middle, bounces off a one, and is finally drugged down at the 35-yard line. So a nice burst of speed from Ty Sheets. And with 10:54 to play third quarter, Riverton will start over for the first time in the second half offensively from their own 35, now trailing 14-10.
Now we'll see what they want to establish here. The Wolverines can do either, as we've seen today and all season long. They have that ground game, especially with DeVries. They've had pretty much what they wanted mid-range and even deep down the field against this Buffalo secondary too in the passing game.
Derek out of the shotgun, has a couple of tight ends in there, and is now going to flip it to Sheets. Sheets has a big burst of speed, as we just saw in the kick return, and he does on the first play offensively this half. Gains 11 on the ground. Ty Sheets with a nice Wolverine first down.
Difference here on the Gambles replay between this reverse and the one we saw in the first half is in the first half, this reverse was going off the tackle. This time you see the lane generated inside. So there's a gap there. There's a blocking scheme there for Sheets to be able to cut that back up, and that was much more successful for the first down than the first half reverse.
Caden Liebricht will come in motion in the Wolverine offensive set. DeVries tried to run with it and is smothered in the backfield. Great job by Ryan Nicholas to get there and send Derek backwards for a couple of yards.
On that play, offensive line's been great by and large. On that play, just a breakdown in assignment on the left side of the Wolverine offensive line. That did not go as designed, and Derek was kind of hung out to dry on that one.
Second down and 12 coming up for Riverton from their own 44. Power formation again for Riverton. We've seen some different looks offensively here to start the third quarter. DeVries wants to throw, has it complete to Ty Sheets across the 45, right near the first down marker, and that's right in front of me, so I can eyeball that and tell you I think Ty Sheets has a first down.
It's my favorite quarterback play of the night from Derek DeVries. You're going to see from that power formation, he's going to bring all the secondary attention to that right side where the power formation is, but he knows he's got a drag route coming across the formation. Beautiful step up in the pocket and a nice touch throw over the Buffalo defender for the first down.
Big pickup there for Riverton into Bison territory. Derek out of the shotgun again. Pass floated incomplete. Wanted McIntosh on the far sideline near the Buffalo sideline, but that one kind of airmailed on him a little bit.
I think it might have slipped. Derek saw it, had his body in the right position. Feet were good. He may have slipped at the top of his release point there.
Second and 10 coming up for Riverton as they break the huddle. 9.5 to play. Third quarter. Buffalo scored first this quarter. They lead 14-10. DeVries. 2x2 is the set. He's got Saltzgaver and Ty Sheets on the left side. DeVries will option it back to Gattenbein, who takes on a tackler and gets a couple of yards. Blake's third carry. Every one of them have gone for 2.
See the pitch here in the Gambles replay. It's a tough scheme going to the short side with that option pitch. Not sure the play would have gone any better if Derek would have waited. Kind of draw that right end a little bit further in toward him, because there's just not a lot of field to work with. But we see that from Coach Lenhardt from time to time. He likes to knock on that short side and just see what's there. See if we get a nice open field play, see if somebody can break something free.
Could have been a little generous. They're going to give Gattenbein just one. 3rd and 9. DeVries out of the shotgun again. DeVries going to air it out in the flat off of the fingertips of Saltzgaver, incomplete. So now 4th and 9 facing the Wolverines from the Buffalo 42.
And this play here, this ball is perfectly placed by the quarterback. Need to throw it to lead that running back where he needs to go, which is down the field, and that route on the swing was just a little bit too flat.
Gage Treber back on to punt. Zane Huber, the junior, back deep. Treber's punt will be fair caught at the 16-yard line. So a couple of nice plays on that drive, but for no points, and the Wolverines will punt it away with 8:47 to play third quarter now. It's Buffalo 14, Riverton 10.
Here are those first half stats, 220 some offensive yards for the Wolverines and 50 for Buffalo. And the score being what it was, with the Wolverines at that time still up, tells you that the Wolverines just aren't finishing drives, and that's been the story. Bunch of yards haven't translated into points.
Patterson out of the shotgun will hand the ball off to Hammond, who's met in the backfield. Nice job by a host of Wolverines. Gattenbein in there, Ryan Cox, Caden Liebricht.
I love how the whole defense, but especially that Riverton defensive line, they've done this all year too. They stay in the play as they're engaged by their counterparts on the offensive line, and they're agile and strong enough to be able to at least misdirect the runner, if not get an arm out and make a play, as they're being actively blocked by the offensive line. And that's only going to get better as Coach Lenhardt's preaching about hitting that weight room all year starts to sink in.
Eli again out of the shotgun, sends Camino in motion. Flag on the motion. I think this is going to come back. It's completed to Camino, who's all the way down to the 50-yard line before he's tackled by Larson. But as he was coming in motion, the flag flew.
Yeah, you certainly got to hope as a Wolverine fan that was the call. It was, as you said, Jared, it was thrown too early to be a holding call. But they are marching him back. Oof. Yeah, that's a shift. Boy, talk about your breaks. That motion did not do really anything to benefit the offense on that play, but against the rules, and so that's a break that you're not going to get too many of against a team like Buffalo.
Third penalty of the game for the Bison. Clock at 7:53 to play third quarter. Buffalo on top of Riverton 14-10. Patterson's out of the shotgun. Two receivers to the left side. He wants to pitch it to Hammond. Hammond's not going to have a whole lot of room. He's swarmed under. Zarek Prosser in on the play again. Maybe a yard for Will.
Side to side, Wolverine defense has gotten a lot better at pursuit as the season has gone on. They're a lot quicker to identify and take good angles on those plays. I'm not sure, and this is kind of a new offensive thing. I've seen the Wolverines do it a little bit too. But if you're the quarterback and you're going to pitch it, pitch it. And if you're not going to pitch it, engage a defender and wait till the last minute. But taking 3 steps and then pitching it, I don't understand.
3rd and 16 for Buffalo. Patterson out of the shotgun, gets hit. The ball is loose. It looks like Buffalo's on it. But it's going to be 4th down and a big play for the Wolverines defensively.
So we can see the end of that on the Gamble's replay. And I think that's an instance of just a fortuitous bounce off of the turf right back to a white jersey. Doesn't matter a whole lot. Obviously, Wolverines would have taken the deep field position, but they will get the ball back here on the punt.
Eli Patterson in his own end zone will kick it away. A high punt is going to be fielded at the 43-yard line. So Riverton will take over inside Buffalo territory with 6:34 to play in the third quarter.
Now you got to pounce. Now you have got to get that offense into the end zone. By far and away the best field position of the night for the Wolverine offense. Very short field. This is something that they have given Buffalo the luxury of a couple of times. You got to get some points, and not just points. You got to get the end zone here.
302-1847. 302-1847. If that's your
Wolverines break the huddle. 2-by-2 the set for DeVries. Derek directing traffic will send one man in motion who lines up in the backfield. Derek wants to run behind that man in motion, and Derek's not going to have much, a gain of a yard. This is as difficult as it's been all season for Derek to run. He's tried it 10 times and thrown a couple of sacks that have skewed his numbers a little bit, but officially he has 8 yards. You take away those big losses, he's got about 22.
Yeah, he's like most quarterbacks, he's an open field guy when he is running. So if you get him a little bit of space, he can make a defender miss. But if you ask him to hit the A-gap against some of those real big guys up front, it can be a different story.
Derek's going to work in the shotgun again. Clay Sheets, lone receiver to the right side, 2 receivers to the left. Gattenbein with him in the backfield. Gattenbein does a great job picking up a blitzer, and DeVries fires it complete to McIntosh for a first down to the 30-yard line. Pick up a 15, DeVries to McIntosh.
McIntosh makes this look like just anybody can do it. As DeVries is rolling to his left, gets his shoulder around nicely, and Nick McIntosh has some of the best feet awareness and body position awareness as you're going to see in a 3A wide receiver. He just knows exactly where he is, where his feet are. We're kind of spoiled seeing this in the high-level college games and the professional level. That kind of awareness after finishing a route, running all the way across the field, is pretty rare in high school.
1st and 10 Wolverines from the Bison 30. Tight formation. Fake the pitch, misdirection, handoff is going nowhere for Riverton. They'll go backwards on the play. That's Ty Sheets, who didn't have a chance and will lose 3.
Yeah, didn't work on that right side of the offensive line. They might have pulled a couple of guys there. It's nothing else wrong with that play. Timing was good in the backfield. Just so happened those 2 of the front 4 for Buffalo broke through, and they had a lunch right in front of them on that play.
2nd down and 13. Hash mark left from the 33-yard line. DeVries shotgun. Gets the snap. Steps up in the pocket, looking right side. Single coverage. It's caught all the way down to the 1-yard line. That's Nick McIntosh. Had to hesitate because I didn't see the number, but I should have just known naturally that that's Nick McIntosh making that catch.
You at home here on the Gambles Replay have a beautiful vantage point of what a just dime this throw is from Derek DeVries. Top of the drop, takes a step up for some extra oomph, and right over the top of the defender. That was not poor coverage. Nick McIntosh is a tough single cover, but that was just about as good as you can do it. Nick McIntosh couldn't have walked up there and handed it to him any better than that throw.
They'll put it at the 2, a 30-yard completion. DeVries wants to run on 1st and goal. Has a blocker. He's down at about the 1-yard line, and it'll bring up 2nd and goal.
I want to do that again, and maybe one more time after that. Because there is enough push up front there for the Wolverines to get a yard. Might try it again one more time. I mean, it's to get too fancy here on 2nd and goal from a 2-yard line. Knowing you need these points to get the lead back, knowing you're playing the 4th-ranked team in the state, 5-1 coming into Riverton here tonight. I don't know how fancy you want to get. This is your boring insurance play, whatever seems to work every time.
Sheets will come out to the left side. Power formation. Again, DeVries out of the shotgun. Will walk into the end zone. Fake to the left, ran to the right. Derek's in, and the Wolverines recapture the lead.
A little counter action with that step to the left here. Open things up just enough. Got the blockers downfield. The offensive line tonight has been great by and large, and they sealed that. Got enough downward momentum on that right side, enough for Derek to walk into the end zone basically unopposed on 2nd and goal.
Hunter Schultz gave her his extra point. He's on the way. It looks good, and the officials are going to throw a flag, though.
It is good. There is a flag on the play.
That come from the back judge?
It did.
Odd to see that after the conclusion of an extra point attempt. Whatever it is, I suspect the kick will count, because if it's against Buffalo, you'll take the outcome, and assess it on the kickoff, and the Wolverines don't seem concerned with getting their field goal team back out there. So
I've gotten gun-shy after I missed 2 PATs last week on the broadcast, but the kick looked good. The PA announcer said it was good, and I never really saw a signal from the officials, but they did throw a flag, and now they are huddled, still talking. Meanwhile, the cannon smoke eerily drifts across the field on this Friday the 13th. Just kind of hovering in the stadium lights. Kick is good.
So it's an after the play personal foul against Buffalo. That will not help their field position, obviously, assessed on the kickoff, you would think, for the next drive.
So Riverton goes 43 yards on the score, taking about 2.5 minutes off the clock. Can't stress how big of a catch that was. DeVries to McIntosh.
Great catch.
Hopefully you were watching that along on our video coverage. For our radio audience, I'm not sure I sold exactly how big of a play that was, but Derek DeVries capped that off on the drive with a 2-yard touchdown run. And Riverton has recaptured the lead now 17-14 with 3:49 to play in the third quarter after the personal foul on the extra point. Hunter Saltzgaver's got it at midfield to kick it away.
And to kick it from the 45. Just showed that play again on the Gambles replay, Jared. Of all the DeVries to McIntosh that we've seen this year, that might be my favorite. Great throw. McIntosh laying out to make the catch over his shoulder.
Saltzgaver will boot it deep. Might be looking for a field goal there, too, as that goes all the way out of the end zone. I was going to say, if you wanted to onside kick it, that might be the scenario with it at midfield, but not the case there. So Buffalo will start 1st and 10 from their own 20 with 3:49 to play, third quarter.
That defense has been good enough. One big play is the only long field offense the Bison have had. The other points were scored on 30-yard fields. I like the odds. I like the way the Wolverines have maintained their responsibilities and held Buffalo in check.
Eli Patterson's in the shotgun. He fakes the give to Hammond, airs it out to Camino. Camino slips out of one tackle and will move the football forward some yards after catch, picks up 8.
Not a whole lot to look at there on that play, but it was perfectly executed. Beautiful job on the play fake. Timing on the throw was perfect. The blocker on the off-ball receiver was perfect. That's the way that's supposed to go. And Riverton, as much single as they like to go, probably fortunate that didn't go to the house.
Hunter Riemann had the tackle for the Wolverines. Eli again in the shotgun. Hammond behind him. Give it to Will. Will is stood up near the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard, but not much more than that, and it's going to bring up third down.
I don't think Buffalo knows what's happening to him right now. It's a one-score game, obviously. It's close. But that personal foul on the extra point, maybe an indication of some frustration from the Bison. They're obviously not used to giving up this kind of points, for one thing, and they're used to at least controlling the game, even if they're not big on the scoreboard. They're not in control of this game right now.
Patterson out of the shotgun, 3rd and 2. One man in motion. Hammond with him in the backfield. And a flag flies before the play can start.
Must be some kind of procedure or false start. Didn't see who it was on the Buffalo side.
False start.
Oh, yeah, there's a twitch there on the far side receiver. Right in front of the side judge. Boy, now 3rd and 7.
Make it 3rd and 2 with 3rd down and 7. Riverton on top of the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard by 3 with 2:31 to play, third quarter. Eli's in the shotgun again. 2 receivers out to the right side. Will pitch it to Hazen Camino. Camino's got a big hole. He's got a first down and much more across midfield. Is finally tripped up at the 40-yard line by Larson. Big gain there. A pickup of 40 on the ground.
And that's a nice job by Buffalo getting downfield there at that first level to set that lane and get some good blocking done. That was a pretty easy acquisition of the right side edge there for Buffalo. Don't think Riverton was expecting that kind of sweep action with a convoy there in front of the ball carrier. Touchdown saving tackle to keep the Wolverines in the drive.
See if Riverton can reload defensively after giving up that third down. Patterson in the shotgun. He wants to run with it this time. Try the right side. Is met and driven backwards. Another nice job at Gattenbein. I think that was there first.
Who's 84 on the Riverton roster?
Caden Liebrecht.
As Liebrecht here, as you'll see on the Gambles replay, forcing the play outside. He's not going to be in on the tackle. You see 84 there on your screen, just altering the direction of the runner. When you do that, your blocking scheme is out the window, and it results obviously in a positive play for the Wolverine defense.
Shotgun again for Eli Patterson. He'll give it to Hammond. Hammond bounces it off the right side. He's got some room across the 30 and knocked out of bounds after he picks up a first down, it appears.
And this is what happens when your defense isn't able to alter that run. You'll see the edge on that right side easily acquired. And a bit of a misread there by a defender on the second level. The only difference between the first and second down play is getting into the backfield a little bit and changing the direction of the runner.
Patterson again out of the gun, has been most of the night. Hammond off of his left hip. Low snap, was on the turf for a moment. Patterson did a great job recovering it, but is swarmed under and will go backwards for a yard after the low snap.
Something that football fans may not think about when you have a tall quarterback is the effect that has on the mesh, because running backs are usually much shorter, and also when you get a ball on the ground, it's just more awkward for a tall guy to come up with a ball. I mean, he really should have fallen right on that, taken the loss, and prevented a possible turnover.
12 personnel again for Buffalo. Give it to Hammond on the read, and he is met right at the line. The original line of scrimmage. Caden Liebrecht is there again. Ryan Cox gets up and gets a couple of big pats on the back, and he's lost another yard. Third down and 13 coming up with 22 seconds to play in the quarter.
Running back's job is to take the ball no matter what. Quarterback's job on this read is to take it back if he wants to keep the ball himself. And just a little bit late on that time, making that decision to rip the ball out.
12 personnel, receiver to either side. Patterson stands in the shotgun, wants a throw to the end zone. Flag flies in. Pass is incomplete, but it's going to be presumably a flag on the Riverton DB.
I think you're going to see a pass interference call here. You're going to see plenty of contact, but you're also going to see the defender turn around, look at the ball, and make a play on the ball. So there was some hand fighting there, a little bit of push to the body of the wide receiver. I get it. I'm not sure I love it, and I'm not sure they're not thinking about picking that flag up.
The officials are going to get together and talk about this. The clock is expired in the third quarter. Buffalo's going to trot off the field and go gather around Coach Hammond.
This would be an enormous no call if they do decide to pick up the flag.
Yeah, this is a big discussion happening here. Would be a 4th and 13 if they picked it up.
I don't know what they're talking about, because that's a subjective call to whatever official makes it. And the official with the best angle did throw the flag. So there's nothing any other ref would do to overrule it. They may just be taking a quarter break here, but it looked like they were discussing something.
Flag is still down at the 2-yard line. Meanwhile, just kind of awkward because the quarter has run out. And
I honestly couldn't tell you.
I'm not sure we're going to get this call presented to us before we start the fourth quarter. Here we go with the white hat official, perhaps. Pass interference on the Wolverines.
I'm not sure what required so much deliberation. They might have been discussing time on the clock at the end of the quarter, but I'm not sure if time had run out at the end of the play or not. Either way, it is a first down for Buffalo.
First down for Buffalo.
I mean, I could go either way. I think there was contact. I don't think the defender inhibited the receiver's ability to make a play on the ball. And the defender made a play on the ball as well.
Coach Lenhardt out there lobbying his case with the officials. So we will see one untimed down to close the third quarter. Wolverine coaching staff trying to fire their guys back up on defense. 1st and 10 from the 15. In what is likely the last play of the quarter, they'll hand it off to Hammond. Hammond to the right side, shakes off one tackler, is met at the goal line. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown to end the quarter. Buffalo retakes the lead from 15 yards out. Will Hammond took on some contact and gets into the end zone.
That was a nice, strong run. It really was. That was a great run by Hammond. There's a flag down, Jared. I think there is. So hang on. Might have been a hold on the right side there.
I did not see that flag at all. Obviously, didn't see where that came in, but you are exactly right, Scott. That's a hold on Buffalo, and touchdown saving penalty there will back the Bison up to the 25, and I guess we're not done with the quarter yet.
This will be yet another untimed down. Now, assuming the Wolverines don't give up two pretty big runs on back-to-back plays, this plays into early fourth quarter. That's a 10-yard penalty. It appeared the hold actually happened in the backfield. This is first down. Make a play here. You start the fourth quarter with 2nd and forever for Buffalo.
Patterson's in the shotgun from the 25-yard line. Fake the handoff, air it out to Camino in the flat. Camino shakes off one tackler, but there's a couple of Wolverines that won't let him get much further. Gain of 2 will bring it out to about the 23-yard line, and that is where we will start the fourth quarter finally. So negate the touchdown on the holding call. Riverton still on top of this one at the end of 3. It's Riverton 17, Buffalo 14. Come on back for the fourth quarter with us. It's going to be fun. You are watching the Wolverines on County 10's YouTube channel and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give them a call at 307-332-7184.
Tires, and more tires. Bailey Tire and Auto Service offers a huge selection, great prices, and fantastic service.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Haley. With over 13,000 tires to choose, Bailey has tires for your ATV, farm implement, car, truck, trailer, semi, lawnmower, wheelbarrow, you name it. If it has a tire, Bailey Tire and Auto Service can fix it or replace it. Bailey Tire and Auto Service is your one-stop complete tire and service shop. Just remember, with Bailey's, there's no tricks, just tires.
Fourth quarter is set to begin from Wolverine Field. Riverton on top of number 4, Buffalo 17-14. 2nd down and 13 coming up for the Bison from the 23-yard line. Fake the handoff, and Patterson's pass is complete for a gain of about 7. That's the first time we've seen him go to Cam Johnson. Cam, the basketball player.
That's a perfect play call. Riverton having to respect the run all night.
3rd down and 9.
Quick little pullback and a jump pass over the middle to get back half of it, but still 3rd and long for Buffalo.
See about a 3rd and 8 as Patterson out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Fake the handoff. No, he did give it off to Hammond. Hammond will be stuck right at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't get much more, and the Wolverine fans make a whole lot of noise. Another nice defensive play for Riverton.
Heard in the pregame about the kicking ability of Buffalo. So I think down 3, that's what they're going to opt to do. But this is no gimme. This is going to be a 31-plus yard attempt here.
Hazen Camino spotted at the 21, right in the middle of the field. Snap handled nicely, nearly blocked.
Missed it.
goes off to the right side, no good. And the Wolverines make a defensive stand. This is not the most full Wolverine field I can remember this season, but this may be about the most boisterous of a crowd as I can remember.
If for no other reason to stay warm up here, but certainly a lot to cheer about. Wolverine defense. Buffalo just has no idea what's happening right now. They are totally out of their game. They can get it back, and they can get it back quickly. But the Wolverines have been consistent enough on both sides of the ball and done enough of what they wanted to do to have a lead here in the fourth quarter.
Derek DeVries back out there to start up the Riverton offense. Take the snap out of the shotgun, fake the handoff. He's got a big hole to the right side. Derek dances around and gets near the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 18 on first down. DeVries on the ground, and there's the Derek DeVries that we're used to seeing as Wolverine fans doing it with his feet.
Give him just a couple of steps. Give him a couple of steps in the backfield to get those feet under him where he wants them to go, and he is shifty and dangerous down the field, as you see there, gaining 7 extra yards after contact down the field as well.
It's like a hockey line shift coming in as about 5 substitutions for the Wolverines. Second play of the drive coming up from their own 39-yard line. 10:25 to play, fourth quarter, Riverton on top, 17-14. Caden Liebrecht set up on the left side wing. Now DeVries wants to run again. Doesn't have as much room that time. Does pick up a couple on first down.
You get 3 yards on every carry, you win the game. Maybe a long 2 there, but the idea is make Buffalo respect the play that happened previously. Make them stop DeVries. Just make them prove that they can do it. And then as a play caller, you're using that success on those last 2 plays to set up 2nd and 8 right here.
The ball at the 41, 2nd down and 8. 2-by-2 the set. Gattenbein in the backfield. Derek sets his feet, wants to throw, has it complete to Sheets. Sheets right to midfield, right to the first down marker. I think he's got 9 when he needed 8, and another Wolverine first down, as the crowd tells you.
Looked like just a stick timing route there. You get to a certain point on the field and you stop as a receiver. Typically the ball should be in the air by that point, if not right after that. And Buffalo playing that single coverage quite a bit of the game, especially since after the end of the first quarter. And they are giving tons of cushion to Riverton's big playability down the field. So that means that 5-yard stick is going to be there. Still waiting for that hitch and go.
Ball right at midfield. McIntosh comes in motion. DeVries fakes it to him, tries the left side. Plows forward before he's tackled after a gain of maybe a yard. Not much doing there for DeVries on the ground again.
There's nothing wrong with a slow, methodical drive here for the Wolverines, so long as it ends up in points. And preferably, again, 7. It's going. I can't have imagined a better outcome considering the opponent for the Wolverines. I mean, they haven't finished some drives, especially in the first half. Done a better job of that here in the second half. But you also want to avoid those late game mistakes that we've seen the Wolverines fall victim to as an inexperienced team that's not used to winning.
Derek is going to go under center this time. Fake it to Gattenbein, rolling to his left under a lot of pressure, and it's incomplete. Almost looked like he wanted to set up a screen pass, was looking for Sheets, and incomplete.
3rd and 9.
Derek may be trying to do just a little bit too much off his back foot, off his left foot, trying to force that ball in there. If that sails on you at all, there's about 3 white jerseys right there. Already had a pick in the first half off a deflection. Don't attempt fate, and it does set up a 3rd down now here for the Wolverines. I'm not sure with the lead, you're in 4-down territory yet.
7:58 to play, fourth quarter. Big play right here on 3rd and 9 from the 49-yard line. Derek's in the shotgun, and before the play can start, Riverton's going to take a timeout, so they'll discuss this one.
Timeout.
Well, as we get closer to thinking about the finale of this game, we do have to kind of bring up that there are a lot of tie-breaking procedures that may boil down to point differential in this one. If Riverton did finish the year 2-0, there will very likely, pending an upset next week, be a three-way tie in the 3A East with Douglas, Buffalo, and Riverton, meaning the next tie-breaking scenario would come down to point differential, and our sports director, Wyatt Barichka, has been hard crunching numbers, hard at work all week long, trying to figure that out. And basically the gist is Riverton needs to win this game by more than 6 points to have an opportunity to host a playoff game. This all hinges.
Assuming everything goes the way we think it's going to go with all these three teams over the next 2 weeks.
Exactly, and it hinges on a Riverton win against Worland. So we'll get into that more, but a big 3rd and 9 coming up here for Riverton. DeVries is in the shotgun, trips to the right side. He'll throw it to Gattenbein, who wants to flicker it to McIntosh, and Nick has it incomplete, but a flag flies in at the end of the play. And Camino, I think, is going to get tagged for pass interference. He's got his hands up in the air. Similar looking play to the pass interference that was called on the Wolverines a moment ago. We'll see. We'll check the flag.
I think the difference is if it is PI, that Camino never gets his head around. He never looks. See the throwback on the Gambles replay. Like Gattenbein, your backup quarterback for the Wolverines. Nice ball on the run, too, that Gattenbein threw.
Pass interference on Buffalo is the call. That's going to be a Riverton first down.
That is a huge mental error. Call it a mental error. It's easy for me to do up here. I'm not trying to cover anybody, but the defender was beat on the play. Just bit a little bit too hard on that pitch, and then Gattenbein went to throw it, and he knew what happened. Just trying to make up that ground and hope for the best, and he did not get his head around to look at the ball. Was there just a tad early, so I think a good call.
Fresh set of downs for Riverton, 1st and 10 from the Buffalo 34. DeVries will give it, fake it to Gattenbein. Ball on the floor, and I think Blake is there to recover it. He'll lose some yardage, but heads up play by Blake Gattenbein to dive on it quick.
DeVries is a ball carrier. Sometimes gets a little bit loose there between the tackles. That was a great play fake, as Jared indicated. And then DeVries marching forward has that ball you see stretched out a little bit, and I think he might have been going for an extra yard there. And it's not worth it. That's a huge fortuitous bounce. Wolverines have had a lot of football luck here tonight.
2nd down and 14 now for the Wolverines after they lose yardage. 3 receivers to the left. Ty Sheets and Gattenbein out to the right side. DeVries steps up in the pocket. DeVries to Sheets. It's complete. Sheets all the way down to the 10-yard line. A big pickup for Riverton.
I love watching Derek DeVries in the pocket, feeling pressure to his right. Just look at his step up like it's nothing. Stepping up and not losing track of where he is in the read progression, not losing track of where his receivers are downfield. It's one thing to elude pressure by stepping up in the pocket. Trust me, that's hard enough to teach anyway. But then to still have the presence of mind to know where your progression was just at and what that extra time of your step up possibly did to the coverage downfield. Because you can start that step up and everyone's covered, and by the time you're at the top of the pocket, you may have somebody break free.
27-yard completion to Ty Sheets. 2-by-2 the set, man in motion. DeVries in the shotgun. Talon Tillman lines up as a blocking back. DeVries is going to run with it. He's got 5 yards on 1st and goal. It'll bring up a 2nd down and goal from the 5.
Helped out by a penalty, helped out by a fumble recovery that Blake Gattenbein got on as DeVries lost the ball. But the result so far has been a huge time-sustaining drive. They are taking a lot of time off the clock. Buffalo is capable of scoring quickly, but they don't like to do it, and they're not used to doing it.
Ball is at the 5-yard line. Wolverines are going to take their time snapping the play. It's inside of 6 minutes to play, 4th quarter. DeVries has Gattenbein in the backfield with him. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Fake it to Gattenbein. DeVries is going to take it, and he is across the goal line and in. Touchdown, Wolverines. Derek DeVries from 5 yards out.
Derek, just because of the design of this play, is going to have to be a little bit of a patient running back here. He's going to have to wait for that block to come across. He's going to have to make sure the play fake is sold, and he's going to have to charge forward and get the ball over the end zone. The goal line, rather, didn't get there by a whole lot. Had to stretch the ball out again, but he did get there before he went down, and this is a 2-score lead for your Riverton Wolverines at home against the number 4 team in the state with about 5 minutes left to go.
Scott, that drive took 5 minutes and 10 seconds, went 79 yards. Riverton's going to go for 2. Derek in the shotgun, low snap, fielded nicely under pressure to the end zone. It is caught. He's in. 2-point conversion is good. I was screened by it. Is that Sheets again? It is Ty Sheets on the 2-point conversion. And boy, Ty just looked like he got a foot in bounds and not much more.
I was also screened, so let me see if we got this on the Gamble's replay. Sure hope we did. See DeVries taking his time, rolling out to the left, throwing it where only his receiver. Oh, yeah, that's a catch. He might have gotten 2 in. That was a beautiful throw, smart throw, and an even better catch to corral that in without a bobble. As the officials discussed it there for a minute, whether or not one foot was down, and probably more talking about whether or not the ball was ever in motion after the catch, but it didn't look like it. That looked like a solid catch and possibly 2 feet down there.
5:42 to play.
Did we see a flag, Jared, after that again?
I did not.
I think we may have another post-conversion penalty on Buffalo, because I saw the referee give that score indication and then reach down to pick up what I thought might have been a flag. I guess we'll see where they line up on this kickoff. But if that was another personal foul against Buffalo, it was.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Missed the flag entirely. They're going to put it at the 50-yard line. They're going to put it at the 45-yard line.
This is just a breakdown of a Bison team that's not used to being treated like this.
Riverton's on top of the number 4 team in 3A football, 25-14. Still 5:42 to play.
Plenty of time. That's right. Plenty of time.
Saltzgaver has it teed up. Expect to see him try to aim for the back of the end zone here. And that's exactly where Hunter will put it. The 1st and 10 from the Buffalo 20-yard line. 5:42 remaining in the 4th quarter. Boy, what an effort from this Riverton Wolverine team, who seemingly, I know you'd throw in a loss at a tough Douglas team, but seemingly they get better every week. I'm impressed with so many of these guys, including Derek DeVries, who made a couple of nice plays, but Ty Sheets is having a heck of a ball game too.
He absolutely is, and that's a couple of big catches in this game.
Eli Patterson back out there for his Buffalo offense. Hammond with him in the backfield will pitch it to Camino. Camino tries to stiff arm a Wolverine defender, is drugged to the turf, and will go backwards.
You can't play this any better for the Riverton Wolverines. This is going to be a little pitch on basically a counter. They pull a couple of blockers back out to the left, but you see that first Riverton defender, and they're changing the direction of the running back, and that's all you have to do. If you can't make the tackle, force him to bounce outside. His blockers aren't there outside with him, and Derek DeVries doing a nice job of cleaning it up.
DeVries, Jackson Larson was there too. 2nd down and 12 coming up. Patterson fades to throw, steps up in the pocket, may have been hit as he throws. Sheets had a chance to intercept it out of his hands as you hear the O from the crowd collectively, but incomplete, and now 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Bison offense.
You know, this quarterback is no joke, and you compare that step up in the pocket to what we see from Derek DeVries, and you see how effortless DeVries makes it. That step just took a little bit too long. top of the drop wasn't as intentional on where he wanted to go. I'm not sure there was contact there, Jared, at the time he threw it. I think that was just a duck. It might have slipped out of his hand.
Wolverine fans are stomping the bleachers, ringing the cowbells. Patterson on a 3rd and 12. Wants to throw. He's under pressure. Gets it away. It's caught. Zane Huber makes a heck of a catch for a first down. Great job by Patterson to get it away. Good pressure by the Wolverine defenders, too. But you got to give Eli Patterson credit for hanging in there and making that throw.
I mean, I don't want him throwing this ball in any other situation, but I can't. The throw and then the catch. He is in the full grasp of the defender. And the only saving grace is he had that receiver coming across who was uncovered. He was wide open, and that could have ended the game for the Wolverines had it gone differently.
1st and 10 from the 34 of Buffalo now. Low snap, give it to Hammond. Hammond's got some room off the right side. Nice block to seal the edge, but it closes quickly on the outside as the Wolverine cornerbacks fly up. Talon Toman did a great job running all the way across the field, and it'll still be a gain of 5 by Hammond on first down.
Yeah, we don't talk about Talon enough. He's so often alone in that single high free safety position as the Wolverines like to help on run support. I think I am Derek DeVries, who did a great job maintaining his block and forcing that run outside, but his foot is now really bothering him on the near sideline.
Give him 6 on the carry at 2nd down and 4 from the Buffalo 40-yard line. Clock at 5:03 to play. Riverton on top, 24-14. Flags fly as soon as the snap comes to Patterson, and I think they're going to back him up. Clay Sheets clapping his hands. Hunter Riemann clapping his hands, and we'll go backwards on the false start.
Trying to spot this one. It's been a receiver twitch a couple of times here tonight. And I still on the Gambles replay didn't spot that one, but I'm not going to argue either.
2nd and 9 now. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Patterson. Hammond again in the backfield. Low snap, fielded nicely. Zone read play is going to be carried by Eli Patterson near the 39-yard line. Gain of 3. Nice job of containment by the Riverton defense. And it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Buffalo has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Riverton, uncharacteristic for Coach Lenhardt, has only used 1 of them so far, so they have 2 left. He would love to force a decision on that far sideline on 4th down. You're right, Jared. This is as loud as I've heard the Riverton Wolverine crowd this year by far.
It is a fun scene that hasn't happened in a long time here at Wolverine Field. Patterson will hand it off to Hammond. Hammond bounces it out to the right side. He's got a 1st down into Wolverine territory. Finally knocked out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Another big pickup on the ground for these Bison.
And it worked the first time they tried this, too. That was the first touchdown that Buffalo scored on their first drive. It's a double handoff in the backfield to the initial give, and then the quick counter to that. Actually, it was a fake. It was a fake of that initial play. They faked the second handoff, and that Riverton was aware of after giving up a touchdown on that play, and the misdirection worked.
Patterson out of the shotgun, fake the handoff, wants to run with it, makes a couple of men miss to the left side of the field, all the way across the field horizontally, ends up picking about 8 yards vertically.
Eli Patterson being so tall, every time he runs the ball, I'm kind of watching the ball. He's carrying it well with that 5 points of contact right up against his chest, but he's not, he's kind of awkward as he's moving down the field. And I wonder, I mean, don't tackle the ball, but once your teammate has him wrapped up, somebody go after that ball and see if you can't force a fumble.
2nd down and 2 from the 31-yard line. Riverton leads by 11. Give it to Hammond. Hammond is going to have a 1st down, but not much more. Picks up 3 on the carry.
Well, the 1st down is what matters. As there's an injured Bison down. The 1st down is what you want to get, but to the, minus the injury here, were it not for the stoppage of clock, as the Wolverine fans give him a round of applause, but that could be treated until they wind the clock as a break for Buffalo, because the clock is their enemy right now. And yes, they got the 1st down, but it was also going to march off a good 30-plus seconds, the tempo they've been moving at.
That is Will Hammond, the running back that's been so big that came up hobbled on the play. I do think he's going to stay in, though, so
I think he has to come out for a play since they stopped the clock.
There you will come out. Does look hobbled a little bit, but able to walk off under his own power. 1st and 10 now, ball at the Riverton 28-yard line, 3:20 to play. Riverton on top, 25-14. Patterson out of the shotgun. 3-step drop, wants to throw, looking towards the end zone, wants Huber. It's incomplete, well covered by McIntosh the entire way.
Yeah, good job by Nick. He didn't take the bait. The only reason you call this play, I mean, it may work for one thing, but you're begging for PI. You're PI fishing here. This is just throw the ball to the back pylon and see if we get a call. And Nick McIntosh was very aware and didn't take the bait. Good coverage there. Throw wasn't there anyway. So that brings up 2nd down.
2nd and 10.
Let's go defense!
Patterson breaks the huddle. 6'3" senior quarterback in the shotgun. Will Hammond off to his left side. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers to either side. Give it to Hammond. Nope, zone read. He'll keep it himself, and he'll plow forward for 3. Patterson now has ran the football 15 times for 30 yards as we're inside of 3 minutes to play in a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Don't mind as much if Buffalo scores on this drive, even if it's a touchdown. What matters is it's a 2-score game, and this is a long drive for the Bison. Again, they're not built for no huddle. If they had a package, they would be implementing it right now, and they're huddling up every play.
Patterson's in the shotgun, single receiver to either side. Eli takes the snap. Wolverines bringing the pressure. They get to him. Patterson throws it away, incomplete.
Great job by the interior of the Wolverine defense. I think there was a receiver in the area as Patterson was fully in the grasp of a defender, basically just trying to find a white jersey to throw it toward to avoid the sack. That would have been a huge sack. This is the play of the game, obviously, for the Riverton defense. So you have one more in you.
Talon Tillman made a big hit on the quarterback. We've got Mark Lenhardt a few yards out there on the field. Officials gathered together.
Coach is still trying to get an intentional grounding out of that. Kind of loudly.
4th down and 7 coming up unless...
He at least got the officials to go talk about it.
Unless they decide to do something different. 2:25 to play 4th quarter.
I think you're going to get a explanation from the referee as to why it was not grounding.
Coach Lenhardt, body language-wise, does not appear to agree with the official. Big play coming up. Wolverine fans will tell you the story here, perhaps. 4th and 7, Patterson in the shotgun. Receiver to either side, Hammond with him in the backfield. Wolverines showing pressure again. They bring the house. Pass is incomplete. Wolverines hold. A turnover on downs.
4th down play on the Gambles replay. You'll see that pressure, double blitz coming up both of those A-gaps, and it forced an early decision by Patterson. He still has time to make a much better throw than that, but the pressure did force the issue. Riverton doesn't like to blitz a lot, but when they do, it tends to be effective in big moments. And the Wolverines will take over up a couple of scores with 2:20 left to play against a top 5 team in the state.
Saw Derek go off defensively with that foot injury. He's back out there under center. 1st and 10 from their own 25. 2 in the backfield as DeVries hands it to Gattenbein. Gattenbein's met right at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard.
I mentioned the Bison have 4 timeouts, the first of which they'll use right now to try to preserve some clock.
Tackled by Patterson.
What a scene here on a chilly night at Riverton High School. 25-14, the Wolverines on top of number 4 Buffalo. I don't have this in front of me, but it has been a long time since Riverton has knocked off a ranked opponent.
And if this is the way it ends, to be able to do it at home in front of a hearty home crowd is just, it's got to be so important for everybody involved. The community deserves it. The players who've worked hard since at least the start of camp deserve it. You got to feel great for the coaching staff, a lot of whom have been on staff for a while and have seen different teams. And it's a new era for Coach Lenhardt. And if this is a victory for him, it would be a signature victory. But we're not there yet. There's still plenty of time. 2 timeouts for Buffalo. I think we're at 2:15, somewhere around there on the fourth quarter clock. 2 hands on the football. Hang on to it.
Wolverine football at their own 25-yard line, 2:16 officially. Tight formation for the Wolverines. DeVries out of the shotgun, no, makes the first man miss across the 20-yard line, or across the 30-yard line, I should say, out to the 31. Picks up 6 on the ground.
He makes me nervous when he's running the ball sometimes. He's got it put away pretty well, but he's always looking for that extra. He's always looking for that extra play and using that left arm to try to generate a stiff arm. A win here is just to hang on to the ball. I mean, you're a couple of first downs away from putting this one in the win column. Don't want to give Buffalo any chances for any kind of miracle.
Coach Hammond takes another timeout. Thanks to Bailey Tire and Auto Service making this broadcast possible. Also, shout out to Myers Gambles, Perfect Power Electric, Porter's Mountain View Supply, State Farm agent Tyler Watson, Sutherland's Wyoming 4x4 and Northside Body Shop, Baldwin Creek Rental Center, Eyes on Fremont, Central Bank and Trust, Fremont Chevrolet, GMC, Redden Kane and Associates, and Wyoming Catholic College. Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show is on the way here in a few moments. We hope to chat with a very happy Coach Mark Lenhardt, assuming Riverton holds on here in the last couple of minutes.
I'll say this. If they lose, I don't want to talk to him. If they lose this game, I'm not sure I want to talk to Coach.
That is fair. 3rd and 3 coming up with 2:09 to play. DeVries in the shotgun. Everybody in the box for Buffalo. And Coach Lenhardt wants a timeout now. So the chess match, we will trade timeouts on a 3rd and 3.
That's a second for both teams now used. Each has 1 left.
See if I can get you a few more scores of interest from around 3A football as games continue to progress. This is more like
Evanston.
This is more like I expected, Scott. They've gone to the fourth quarter. Cody 41, Evanston 6. Was 7-6 in the second quarter. Cody now piling it on.
Yeah, and we saw their quick strike offense and their, I would submit to you, D1 quarterback, just a junior, I think. And yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But Evanston hanging in there. I see the Wolverines did for a bit with Cody. But Evanston's a program on the rise. I guess I got my seeding hopes up there because I just want to see somebody do something they're not supposed to throw this whole silly...
You're rooting for chaos.
...math equation out the window.
Also, Worland on top of Lander in the fourth quarter, 21-6. 3rd and 3 coming up for the Wolverines. After back-to-back timeouts, Derek's under center this time. Bunch formation with 3 to the left side. Derek fakes the handoff, wants to throw. He's got Sheets, who's undercut. Sheets is right near the first down marker, though.
I don't think so. It's close. I don't think so. And if this is a 1-score game, I don't think you see any kind of pass there from Coach Lenhardt. Oh, they're going to give it to him.
Derek DeVries to Ty Sheets. See some chest bumps. Blake Gettenbein gives one to Ty, and here comes a couple of fresh Wolverines as they will move the chains.
I think they're going to move the chains.
They have not moved the chains yet, which is kind of scaring me. Officials now going to get together and talk about something else.
See if we can spot in the binoculars where the ball is. They're going to measure because if you have those yardsticks, it's just too fun not to. They're going to bring them out. And from my aging eyesight, I'm going to say by about an inch they got it. I mean, it's close, though.
You do not see a lot of measurements anymore.
No, you don't.
In my day,
they're
there were
short.
a lot more. Yeah, they are going to be short.
I wasn't even close. They're short by a good 8 inches at least. So that brings up a fourth down, and you're going to go for it here because even if something goes wrong, you don't make it. The worst possible thing happens. You fumble, and Buffalo runs it back. It's still a one-score game. So I don't think you're going to see that play-action pass here. I think you'll see a DeVries right up the A-gap with maybe a little subtle, helpful push from somebody behind him. But you are that close to almost being able to ice this. Buffalo does have a timeout, so theoretically I think they could force another fourth down if it came to it. I don't think Riverton can run it all the way out.
Any other opponent Riverton's seen, even the Giants of Star Valley and Cody, I'd feel a lot better about Derek DeVries getting a few inches.
What do you think about DeVries to McIntosh just to the house right here? Just throw a bomb.
DeVries is going to stand in the shotgun, and now Coach Hammond wants a timeout. So we've elapsed about 10 seconds of game time and had 4 timeouts, a couple of referee huddles, and it's going to be 4th and inches still here in another 60 seconds.
I don't like this timeout by Buffalo. I know that you want to get a look at the formation, but you want to be able to stop the clock at least once if they get this.
So what's interesting here, and I think we should have paid attention a little bit better in math class perhaps, is there is a lot of strategy over this 10-point threshold because of the potential tiebreaker, because Buffalo is involved.
That's a good point.
In this 3-way potential tiebreaker. If Riverton does win this game, which is obviously objective number 1, Riverton wants to win by 10 points or more to have a tiebreaker should they beat Worland next week, which is a whole nother animal that we'll dive into here at the start of next week. But this point spread differential is certainly interesting right now, and I think ultimately why Coach Lenhardt, we can ask him in the postgame show, but why he went for 2 in the last time was to try to put his team up by 11.
It's also good strategy if you think you can make it, to make it a 2-touchdown game. For a topic for a different time is this point spread differential as a tiebreaker. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that.
DeVries is in the shotgun. Riverton has inches to go for a first down. 3 receivers out to the right side. DeVries surveys the floor. Talon Tillman will come in motion. DeVries is going to run behind Tillman. He's got the first down and plenty more across the 40. First down, Wolverines.
Just about ices it. We'll show you that play on the Gambles replay.
First down.
It's a blocking scheme on this near side defender. He's falling right down to prevent any cutback there or any pursuit from that side on the defensive line, and then left side of the offensive line.
Riverton going to take all the time they possibly can. That's as fired up as I've seen Derek DeVries this season on the sideline, giving his coaches some high fives.
Well, they earned it, and they've been working toward a win like this since the start of camp.
I think Riverton may use their last time out here, run it all the way down to 1 on the play clock. Derek's still over on the sideline. Coach Lenhardt has an official. And I don't know if we can get to the point where 3 kneel downs would win it, but it certainly would appear mathematically we're there, but as I've already assessed, I'm bad at math.
I think the only scenario would be some kind of catastrophic fumble early in this sequence where Buffalo has enough time to successfully execute an onside kick, and then they would have to just throw it up in the end zone. But I think what you'll see from the Wolverines is kneel downs anyway, or at least something extremely conservative. And pull up the clock here, but if I have my math right, if you can pull off a play where you run around a little bit in the backfield and take a couple of seconds off, I think you're home free.
Riverton 25, Buffalo 14, and we could be a couple of kneel downs away from as big of an upset as we've seen in a long time at Riverton High School.
I think maybe take a couple of steps back if you're DeVries, if you can, and take a knee.
Derek will put the knee on the turf, and Riverton fans cheer on their Wolverines for what is going to be a hard-fought victory. First loss in conference play for Buffalo. And no matter what happens as far as tiebreakers or even next week is concerned, Riverton's going to the playoffs. Should get one more kneel down, I think, if they can run this inside of 40 seconds. There it is.
That'll do it.
The Riverton Wolverines will knock off the fourth-rated Buffalo Bison 25-14. Here comes Riverton to celebrate. Scott, we've said this a few times, not even close to the biggest crowd at Riverton High School. Maybe the smallest of the season here in the fourth quarter as it got fairly chilly, but this was as loud as this stadium's been in a long time.
Well, it has to be the biggest win that the Wolverines have had in quite some time. This is the culmination of something that you and I have suspected watching these teams like Evanston, last week in Douglas. You know we're not to Cody and Star Valley, at least not yet, but you get the feeling that they could have won any of those other games that they lost. And this is kind of confirmation of what you and I have seen about the ceiling for this team. And we're just talking about the first year. We're not even into the postseason of the first year. And if this is indicative of a direction of the program, it would appear that the Riverton Wolverines made the smart decision in Coach Lenhardt and his staff and all of these guys, all the way down to the freshman team, who have put in this work since midsummer. And this is something you're happy for the community, you're happy for all the guys on the field, and you're happy to see the Wolverines in the playoffs.
I think we were waiting for a statement win to feel great about this team. Mm-hmm. You felt good about the Lander win. You felt good about getting a win against Rollins. Douglas may have been a nice story to hang with a team that's been good for years on the road. This, frankly, is a statement win in kind of that second tier of 3A football for these Riverton Wolverines. Coming up, the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show is on the way. We're going to chat with the head coach that I imagine is in a great mood after this one. We will also select our Tyler Watson State Farm player of the game. Just a phenomenal win for Riverton football on a Friday night in the Rendezvous City. Your final score, Riverton 25, Buffalo 14. RHS pulls the upset and picks up another conference win. They're 3-1 in the 3A East. The Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show is on the way after this break. You've been watching Wolverine football on County 10's YouTube channel and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
To win in sports, you have to adapt your strategy as the game changes. The same is true with investments. Hi, I'm John Shade, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I can be your financial coach. Give me a call at 335-7722 today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Get ready to explore Wyoming's stunning parks at Fremont Motors during the Open Road Sales Event. We're giving away a complimentary Wyoming State Parks pass with every vehicle sold, so you can get out and explore our beautiful state behind the wheel of a brand new vehicle. Plus, all Fremont vehicles come back by Fremont Care, so you'll be covered no matter what the open road has in store. Visit Fremont Chevrolet GMC in Riverton, or shop online anytime at FremontMotors.com and start your Wyoming adventure today.
How many letters?
5 letters.
Just think about, what am I doing right now?
Smile. Smile?
Uh-huh.
This is so easy.
Nobody likes to be stopped by the police, but if I'd seen her texting while driving and given her a ticket, it just might have saved her life.
RE/MAX All-Star Realtors are proud to sponsor sports across Fremont County for the 22-23 season. RE/MAX All-Star Realtors was founded in 1991 with the goal of doing real estate in a way that would make our clients' lives as easy and uninterrupted as possible. They've completed many transactions involving residential, commercial, vacant lots, farm and ranch, and investment properties, and can help you with any goal you might have regarding any of these today. RE/MAX All-Star Realtors, 938 West Main Street, Riverton. See them online at remaxriverton.com.
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton football is on 105.1 Jack FM. Back to the ball game. Here are Scott Fuller and Jared Anderson.
Welcome you into the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show. A celebration in the end zone. Riverton football supporters, athletes, and coaches all getting together. And, man, that's as joyous as a Wolverine win as I've seen in a while. You know, it feels great to beat a rival like Lander, but a team that a lot of people didn't expect you to beat, and saw a lot of predictions across the state. Nobody had Riverton winning this game, so feeling like a fun night to be part of this one here from Riverton High School. Again, the final score, 25-14. Wolverines come away with an 11-point victory.
Well, I thought the Wolverines did a great job, especially defensively, of taking Buffalo out of their game. And the Bison did not respond productively. They are not used to being in that situation. I thought the defensive line for the Wolverines is the first on my list of units that really are responsible for that win. The linebackers filling in for some injuries, stepping up. Not to overlook the offense at all. Derek DeVries had arguably his best game. May not reflect on the stat sheet, but I think that was his best overall quarterback game of the year. And it's just you made some mistakes, you got some breaks, didn't make too many mistakes, and I think most impressively able to put this team away, able to get up from 10-0 in the first quarter and hang on to the lead for all but a short time there in the third quarter, and close out a very good football team.
Getting some reaction on our County 10 YouTube page. Andy weighing in, saying great game plan, tough defensive effort, like the timely pressure down the stretch. And then Andy says, absolutely huge win by Coach Lenhardt, his staff, impressive group of Wolverines, and tough student athletes. Definitely agree with all of that, as the Wolverine reactions coming in on our social media pages. Taking a look at some of the big statistics in this one. We'll run down a few stats as we await Coach Lenhardt joining us here. Unofficially have Riverton with 384 yards of total offense in this one. We talked about it a few times. Buffalo allows just 199 yards of total offense per game coming into this. Bison were held to under 100 yards of total offense in the first half, and did wind up with 229 there after a couple of nice drives in the second half, and some more big plays kind of opening up the playbook a little bit more. But Riverton still very impressive on that front, and it felt like just especially early on made Buffalo play a game that they weren't necessarily comfortable with and not familiar with based on their game so far this year.
Yeah, and they did. The Wolverines did a good enough job between the tackles and misdirecting that run game, and especially in that first half. 50 total yards offense by the Bison in that first half. They're just used to the defense single digits for the opponents, and the offense, especially in the run game, pretty much dictating the tempo. And once the Wolverines were able to throw a hitch in that plan, I think even more impressive was coming out in the second half, getting scored on the third play of the first drive of the second half by the Bison, and then coming back and then just showing back up, saying that's one play, you gave up one big play, don't fold now. And it's a small thing, and it's not stepping on the throat of like a Star Valley, but it is indicative of a slow change in the mental tide I think that this team has. A, we can win this game even against a ranked team, and B, when we're up, we can maintain that lead and put this team away.
Take a look at some individual numbers here in this one. Eli Patterson for Buffalo went 9 of 15, 52 passing yards, did throw for a touchdown. Eli Patterson ran the ball 15 times for 30 yards. Will Hammond carried the football 16 times for 76 yards. Bryce Camino only carried the ball twice, but had 69 yards, including a big 61-yard play, the largest play of the game for Buffalo. Zane Huber, 2 catches, 16 yards. Bryce Camino, 2 catches, 21 yards. For Riverton, individually, Derek DeVries, unofficial numbers 20 of 33. I don't have passing yards. I don't know what happened on my stat formula there, but 20 of 33 threw an interception, but big passing night for Derek. Let me see if I can get you that yard number. There it is. Now it's back. 281 yards passing. Derek also ran the football 18 times for 47 yards. Ty Sheets carried the ball twice for 8 yards. Blake Gattenbein had 4 carries for 5 yards. Nick McIntosh ran the ball once for 16 yards, and then saw Hunter Saltzgaver with 1 carry for 8 yards. Receiving numbers, Ty Sheets had 7 catches for 75 yards. Nick McIntosh, it's hard to say Nick was quiet because he had a couple of big catches. I put a lot of focus on how great of a game I thought Ty Sheets was having in the second half, but Nick McIntosh, 8 catches, 158 yards.
I mean, Nick McIntosh has 100 yards at lunch on Fridays. He's just give it to him already. He's already there. You know, one thing about Nick's game is when the Wolverines tried initially to kind of knock on the door of the secondary and see, can we stretch the field at all? Is that going to be there against Buffalo? He made a couple of nice catches. I think that is what started to throw the defensive scheme out of whack for the Buffalo offense. When Riverton was able to impose that part of their game plan, now you have to respect DeVries running, and now you have to worry about Nick McIntosh. I think that went a long way early on, even though he didn't have a 250-yard game like we've seen. I think that set the tempo early on for we have to respect this deep ball. That opened up those 5- and 7-yard passes for Derek DeVries all night long.
Round out receiving numbers here real quick. Clay Sheets had 1 catch, 15 yards. Branson Saltzgaver 1 catch for 5 yards. So that's what we've got as far as individual numbers. We are awaiting the arrival of head coach Mark Lenhardt to chat about this one. And Scott and I still have to pick our Tyler Watson State Farm players of the game. While we have a minute here, let me try to refresh the scoreboard courtesy of YOPreps.com and get you some 3A scores. See if there's any finals. There's one that's gone final as Powell has rolled Jackson tonight 51-6. Cody's on top of Evanston in the fourth quarter now 41-13. Saw Douglas up big on Rollins. That's still a third quarter score 49-7. Douglas is up large on Rollins. Worland leading Lander in the fourth quarter 21-6. And the last report was in the second quarter Star Valley was shutting out Green River 27-0.
This kind of a victory, just sitting here watching the fans empty out in such a fun, loud atmosphere. It was actually a home field advantage, I think, at times for the Riverton Wolverines with the crowd noise and the excitement. But you have to think this is something that Coach Lenhardt, who is walking toward us right now, can point to and say, see, if you follow the system, if you go through with it, this can happen.
And as we've seen with so many programs, not only in football, but in all sports, success breeds more success. You get kids that get excited about the program, want to come up and play football, and an exciting win as we welcome the victorious head coach, Mark Lenhardt, here on the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show. Coach, got to be a great feeling. What was that postgame speech like? It's fun to see your kids very excited down there.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And just like, you know, what's crazy is the way the game worked, or all the scenarios played out that you prepare for. I mean, I don't know if I'm a giant fan of the rule, but in order for us to try and get the 1 seed, we had to win the game by 11 tonight and beat Worland next week. And sure as heck, we got just enough points to make that happen. And that's why we went for 2 at the end, and that's why we were, you know, going for it on 4th and 1 right there at the end. You know, conventional wisdom would say to punt, but we're like, let's not give it back to them, you know. And so I think, you know, it's one of those situations, but I'm so proud of our kids and our players. And we didn't defensively do anything real fancy. I mean, outplayed them. We just played tough and physical, and our guys found a way to get it done. And I'm just so proud of them, and everybody who was on the field tonight did something to contribute. But one particular guy I want to give a shout out to. Tyree got hurt this week, and Hunter Riemann stepped in and played a whale of a ball game. A kid who's been playing JV most of the year, and props to Coach Yates for continuing to show his growth. And it's going to be tough to keep off the field. He did a lot of really good things tonight and was physical, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I felt like our guys, we talked about before the game, we don't want to just tackle, we want to start hitting. And one of my favorite quotes is by Bill Parcells, where he says, "Confidence is demonstrated ability." And our guys, I think, for a long time have been hoping to be good, and they're starting to. We get a couple wins, and then they're like, "Okay, we're getting better." And then, a big win like this against somebody when we were the underdog, I think that's going to go a long way to building that confidence. And and even last week's loss, I think, built some confidence with the guys. And we know if we make a couple plays or do a few things better, we probably end up getting it done. So I'm sure. As a coach, now is the battles to fight complacency, right? Like, we'll more than likely be the favorite next week, and now it's enjoy tonight, but when we get back to work on Monday, we got to be ready to get going for Warland, because the job is not done.
I know, Coach, you've talked to us about learning how to win as opposed to not lose, maybe. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like that moment tonight was first Buffalo drive the second half. They, in 3 plays, I think, score on 61 yards. And you're thinking, this is a pivotal moment in this game. Yeah. How are they going to respond to that? And they did. And minus that slip and a couple other small things throughout the game, they got right back on the horse. And is that what you're looking for we belong on this field? Follow the system. We belong with these guys. And I imagine that's got to be something that you're hoping that you can re-communicate next week as you go into the last game.
I think when we watch the tape, and when you win, it's a lot easier to sit there and tell them, look, if we play this play better, if we do this technique a little bit better, if we don't duck inside, or we don't, if we run this route a little bit this way, or if we, don't blow this protection, then they start listening a little bit more. But when you lose, it's hard to keep them believing that you know what you're talking about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not at higher levels, but with kids, and especially in a program that hasn't won. But I haven't felt that way with our players. I think every week they've showed up, they believed in the plan, and huge props to my staff. I mean, everything you saw out on that field tonight, there was something that a coach suggested we put in. The pump route, and Coach McGuffey went in the old Rams playbook that he had. I'm like, well, we're going to need to protect it with 8 guys, so we kind of tried to marry it, and that was his call. And Coach Nyberg had some stuff with the option that I thought that was really good, and Coach Sheets with the hook and ladder, and we were just going to throw everything we could at him tonight, from reverses to everything, and try and find a way to win this football game. And some nights it just comes all together, and tonight it did for us. But what I'm most proud of, and this might be kind of a shock for people around here, we won the game with our defense.
Yes.
And that's what we got to start doing, right? Like, defense travels. Playing D all the time is going to keep you in the game. You can't rely on outscoring people. And we made enough plays, but give Buffalo and their staff some credit. We were kind of picking apart some of their stuff in zone, and then they played some man, and we hadn't seen them play much man all year. And so we got a little stymied by that for a while. But the first half, I probably got away from the running game a little bit more than I should have. And in the second half, we were able to piece enough good runs together to find a way to move the football.
Coach, you've been involved in a lot of games at different programs. Have you ever been involved in a game with a tiebreaker like this, and you're going for 2 and we're all holding our breath that Ty makes that catch in the corner of the end zone to put you up by 11?
Yeah, he ran a great route. We actually ran that earlier in the same spot, same formation, and we kind of saw – we tried to throw the escape route to Nick on that one down there, and we kind of saw, well, I think that Ty can get that guy on the corner, and he ran a great route. But, yeah, we just executed. And what's the difference between this week and last week? We just made a few more plays.
Yep.
And that's football. But when you're in a very highly competitive division, but proud of our kids, proud of the coaches, like I said, everybody's just kept working and fighting. And like I told you last week, we're coming. We're coming. We're getting better every single week. And the nice part is there's a lot of underclassmen that are out on that field tonight.
Saw the freshman game win as well.
Yes,
I think 17-0.
Yes, and we had some unfortunate things happen, but so we had to pretty much play a wildcat, and we won the game. Pretty much not throwing the ball, so we're kind of starting to develop some of that toughness. And we're always going to have athletes. We're always going to have a quarterback and receivers here, but we got to develop those linebacker, running back type dudes and weight room and all that stuff. We're going to continue to develop and get better.
Got one more against Worland to close out the regular season. This is kind of a stupid question because you want to take the weekend and celebrate a little bit, I'm sure. But
not me. Everyone else can.
Fair enough. Fair enough. How do you avoid a letdown? You're so pumped up for a big opponent like Buffalo. Worland comes in. How do you refocus them?
Well, come to practice and you'll probably find out. Because when everybody on Monday wants to be patting each other on the back and things, when you're struggling, you oftentimes got to pick them back up. And when you're feeling like you're on cloud nine, you got to bring them back down. So I'm sure we'll figure out some things to make that happen. But, like I said, the job's not done. And that's every week, right? I mean, could you imagine coaching at, Georgia or Alabama? I mean, every single week people are gunning for you and you can't let down. That's hard to do. People are like water. They want to take the path of least resistance. Hopefully we got enough seniors and maturity to not let that happen.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Appreciate you coming up, and we'll do it all over again next week.
All right, thanks a bunch, guys.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Coach, thank you. Coach Mark Lenhardt, always appreciate him coming up here on the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show. Again, Riverton victorious over number 4 Buffalo, 25-14 tonight. Scott, last order of business on the postgame show as we get to select our player of the game, and I'll defer to you on this one.
I think we're thinking the same thing.
We may even go co-players of the game if we come up different here, but thanks to Tyler Watson at the State Farm, proud Wolverine supporter, and we always get to recognize some great achievements thanks to Tyler Watson.
Oh man, have we man. I'm gonna go. Has Derek won it yet?
Yes.
All right. We'll go with Sheets. I want to say about Derek, awesome game as a quarterback. Maybe not the stat line, maybe not the 6 touchdown passes, but he did stuff that kept his team in the game. Was great defensively as well. But yeah, I'm with Sheets, and some of that might be. There was so much attention paid to McIntosh despite his 100-yard performance yet again here this week that you need those secondary guys to step up. Every team is going to be keying in on Nick McIntosh. Whether or not they can stop him is a different story. But I think I don't believe Sheets has won our Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game award.
I don't think he has yet either.
So that is what that's where I go if I had to pick one. But I want to give huge kudos to both lines. I think offensive and defensive lines wasn't a perfect game, but the defensive line especially was able to fill those gaps enough to force things outside and take Buffalo out of their offensive run games. They got way trickier, I think, than the Bison wanted to get in order to try to get the ball down the field. And the offensive line, again, wasn't perfect, but they gave Derek the time he needed and opened up some of those run lanes to do just enough to get the victory.
Yeah, I also was leaning towards Ty Sheets, and I think Ty is very deserving of the Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out some of the defensive guys who made plays in probably the best defensive effort we've seen Riverton so far. Guys like Talon Toman, Hunter Riemann came up big, Zarek Prosser, I saw him on a couple of plays, and I know I'm missing several of them, but just a great effort defensively overall tonight.
If any of those guys don't make some of those plays, it may go differently. And that's, as an underdog, you're not going to be as talented, and you just have to step up in those moments. I like what Coach said about the Douglas game last week, where you're a couple of plays away from that game maybe going differently. And that reinforces what we've sensed since Evanston, where they can play with any of these teams. They're just not quite in that Star Valley Cody League just yet, but they are capable, even with, in some areas, less talent and not as deep roster. They're capable of winning any of these games. As a fan, what more could you want for, especially in this first year under Coach Lenhardt? But when you come out to the game and brave the chilly weather and you want to cheer for something this year, there has been something to cheer for, and there definitely was tonight.
Definitely want to thank everybody for reacting and commenting and viewing on County 10's YouTube channel. Leave you with this reaction. Daryl said, big win. Coach Lenhardt is helping the Wolverines believe in themselves, and you feel like this team gets more confident and better every week out. So we'll do it again next Friday, the final regular season home game, and the number one seed still possible from the 3A East for the Wolverines into the playoffs. So we may not be done next week here at Wolverine Field after all, but a Whirlin team that has put together some wins this year is coming in next Friday night, so they're going to need your support again here at Wolverine Field. It'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff. If you can't make it, we've got the coverage for you, radio on 105.1 Jack FM, and of course on County 10's YouTube channel. Once again, the final score in this one, Riverton 25, number 4 Buffalo 14. Big thank you to Jason Peterson, our camera operator. He hasn't been with us the last couple of weeks, so we appreciate Jason coming back and spending the night in his chilly camera atmosphere high atop Wolverine Field. So thanks to Jason Peterson, thanks to Scott Fuller as always for providing the color, and thanks to you for viewing along and listening with us. Riverton 25, Buffalo 14. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll send you back to 105.1 Jack FM, and for those of you on County 10 stream, we will say good night from Wolverine Field.